Live from New York. It's just doing away with a witty, pithy open to bring you breaking news. Yes, I want to talk about Nick Bosa out for the year. Are you ready to give up on the 49ers even more than you had already given up on them?
I mean, they do seem snake-bitten, Brou.
I haven't seen a team like the last 10 years. Every other season, it feels like they got tons of injuries, and sometimes for consecutive seasons. So I'm going to keep faith because the defense has been playing
banking
well,
those 3 wins is huge. But this isn't a 3-month injury. This is such a bad injury. Even the insiders have to admit he's out for the year. They can't even pretend he's going to be back.
There is one bright spot for the 49ers. We're back. I told you guys. We are back. Brock, rest up.
Can I go get a shot somewhere next year, maybe?
Somewhere very close to where he's at right now.
This guy,
I'm not even. First things first.
This is wild. Wow. Used to be a Purdy guy.
Well, he's undefeated. Today, Chiefs finally win. But did they, though?
Oh, wow.
It's a tough take for
Wiles is really feeling
it, though. What? Why? Who were the Eagles playing? Did the Eagles play one of the worst teams in the league, or a team that you believe in?
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. Meanwhile, Cowboys get crushed. Professor Broussard delivers his grade. We went out and bought all of the letters in the preseason to give Brou a lot of options. Thus
far, it's been a B- and a C+.
Keeps going down. Every week it's going down.
And finally, guess who can throw the ball? Jalen Hurts.
Someone should tell his coach and
the league on notice.
Really?
Well, he's got 17 straight wins. Alongside Nick Wright.
What was your favorite part of that game, KW?
My favorite part?
Yeah.
Upon review, because I was busy watching my beloved Patriots, I had to go. It was actually a nice, you know what it was? Because I had to watch the Patriots? It was like a horrible main course.
And then a great dessert.
And then a dessert saved it. Everyone was tweeting me, don't worry, you're a Jalen Hurts guy. I said, thank God.
I honestly, Brou, felt a little badly for Wilds.
Why?
From the Eagles game?
No, because I realized he was at the Patriot game and missing what would have just been everything he has claimed about Jalen Hurts that he could do.
Yeah.
He was put in a position to do and did it. And you were watching Ramondre.
We were turning the ball over, Brou, and I looked up at the out-of-town scores. It said total yards Eagles at the halftime -1. I said, I'm in for a bad. Thank God Mac Jones.
Some crazy finishes.
First hour, first things first. We have an excellent power-packed show. We're starting with Kansas City gets a win. Chiefs scored 22 points against a woeful Giants squad to avoid a dreaded 0-3 start. All smiles? Not exactly. Travis Kelce was frustrated and took it out on Andy Reid.
Andy took it out on him.
Again.
Andy hit him that time.
I guess this was a good thing. If it happened to any of the other players in the entire league, it'd be front page news. But here, it's just firing up the team, I guess. Here's Andy and Patrick.
I love Travis's passion, man. So I'm okay with that. We didn't have enough of it that second quarter. Well, it wasn't where we needed to be. So within reason, he knows when to back off the pedal and knows when to push it too.
We just had mistakes and penalties and, alignment stuff that we're going to have to clean up for sure. But I feel like we were moving the ball the right way. Kind of struggled there at the end of that second quarter, but was able to get points at the end. But it was just finishing the drives. And I think that's something that's important in this league is getting touchdowns, not field goals.
Okay, do you feel better, worse, or the same about your Kansas City Chiefs?
Drastically better. The Super Bowl hangover lasted 10 quarters. And the last time the Chiefs were in this spot, it lasted about 7-8 games. This year, I believe it lasted 2.5, 3 games. And we saw, in the second half notably, them get back to being a semblance of who we have known them to be. And over the course of these 3 games, my biggest worry after week 1, my single biggest worry was I was like, oh my God, for the first time, really since Spagnuolo's been there, do we have a bad pass defense? And then in week 2, it was better. And yesterday, obviously, they took Russell Wilson, who, I mean, NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Russell Wilson
listen, he had 450 yards.
It does.
Well, it didn't help the Cowboys.
Right, the Cowboys.
He had half a thousand.
Better than the Cowboys.
Malik Neighbors on a milk carton. So that I felt better about the pass defense over the, from week 1 to 2 and then 2 to 3.
Yep.
They are begrudgingly, finally, attempting shots downfield. And the last 2 games, it's been the same thing. Tyquan Thornton can make a great play. Patrick misses him.
Yep.
And then he's like, I'm going right back to him. He makes it. Last night, Tyquan Thornton can make a great play. He doesn't quite hold on to it. Patrick goes back to him. The running game is still not good, but actually last night was the best it's been absent Patrick. Patrick had one.
He didn't run much.
Right. He had 5 carries, but 3 were kneel downs. So small improvements as they steady themselves. And the team that I compare this Patriot team, or this Chiefs team to, is the only team they're chasing in anything. The Patriots, who made 8 straight conference championship games. The Chiefs have made 7. 4 of those 8 years, from 2011 to 2018, they started 2-2. They spent the beginning of the season kind of figuring it out. So all of that logically makes me feel better, but most importantly, emotionally and kind of metaphysically, there was a moment last night that I think we will look back on. So a quick reminder for the audience, if I may, with some video. The one other time, the only time I said I felt worse about the Chiefs than I did after week 2 was the beginning of the 2021 season, when they'd gotten blown out by the Bucs in the Super Bowl, then got blown out by the Bills, then got blown out by the Titans. Then they played a bad New York Giants team that they barely beat. And then they played the Packers and Jordan Love in an ugly, awful game to save their season. And famously, at the very end of the game, there was, for first things first fans, the pass heard around the world. Everyone remembers it. You guys, and it was that moment I came on TV the next day and said, oh, Patrick's out of his funk. The 2 high safeties didn't ruin his career. And the rest of the year, they lost 1 time en route to the AFC Championship game, which, to be fair, they did lose. And now this year, we have, instead of the pass heard around the world, we have the tackle that turned the tide. Patrick Mahomes, after Isaiah Pacheco turns the wrong way, he throws it backwards again with a play that I truly believe
It's a game-saving
might
play.
have,
phenomenal
if it's a game-saving play, it's a season-saving play.
Yeah.
And so we've had the pass heard
It's an
around the world,
unbelievable
Brou.
play.
We now have the tackle that turned the tide. And I got to tell you, Patrick Mahomes, league MVP after 3 weeks, is probably gone. However, Patrick Mahomes, defensive player of the year, who's made a bigger defensive play this season than that one? Somebody tell me. The Chiefs are a true contender. Their season might be over if that's a scoop and score. 0-3 dead. Instead, the quarterback with a forced fumble recovery.
Where we're at.
I feel great. I feel we are so back, Brou.
Where we're at.
Yeah, this is where we're at.
I could tell Nick was feeling good when I came there. Because, usually you walk down and Nick is just in his notes, in his phone, doing something.
Yeah.
And he was so talkative. He was so chatty.
Yeah.
He was reminiscing about that pass.
Pass around the world. Tackle to turn the tide.
So he is back. That play, I agree with a lot of what you said. I mean, that play was phenomenal. Usually I bristle when most quarterbacks are called the best football player in the world, because there's so many other things.
And it was
in the
a
game.
terrible throw.
But when I saw that, I was like, that's what came to my mind.
That
best
what?
football player in the world.
He threw the ball backwards.
No, that was terrible.
And Pacheco's running the
But
wrong
how
way.
many quarterbacks would have done that?
I guess so.
Like very few, I think.
That is a very
That was a
generous,
phenomenal play.
It's a great play, but it's also
No, it's
No, I mean, that's based on obviously all the stuff he's done in the past. But I'm just saying, that was a great play. But to answer your question, I feel the same.
What?
Now, I was not the same
as
about the
Nick.
Chiefs.
Okay.
I wasn't as down as a lot of people were on the Chiefs. I was like, look, be patient. They're fine. I obviously wasn't writing them off. I agree with Nick. The second half, it looked like some type of switch was flipped, and they played much better. But I'm not ready after one half of good football against a horrific Giants team to say the funk is over. Obviously, next week, we'll see what happens with the Ravens. Then they got Jacksonville. Jacksonville could be a good barometer. If they beat the Ravens, obviously you're going to say they're out of it. But I thought it was a tale of two halves. And the first half, they just didn't look very good.
It was terrible.
They had 7 penalties. That was a big part of it.
Yep.
Especially in the second quarter, they had 7 penalties. I checked it out. They only had 5 games last year where they had 7 or more penalties in the entire game.
Yep.
And 7 in the first. They only had 1 in the second half. So they cleaned that up. Obviously, Mahomes, the backwards passes obviously weren't great. But second half, he came out and threw the ball well. Not just running it and making plays, but he threw it well. I think you could look back at this weeks or months from now and look at this as good because he is developing something with Tyquan Thornton. If nothing else, their timing is developing, but also Thornton, I'm sure, is gaining more confidence. Like, he is the deep threat right now. Correct. So when Worthy gets back, when Rice gets back, now that's another weapon
that's the other
that you
thing.
have.
We talked all last week assuming Worthy was going to play.
Yeah.
Not assuming, but and then
it felt like he was going to play.
And he didn't play. He will be playing against Baltimore. Fake news had his fake news is real. I can tell you that. He's going to play against Baltimore, and then use 2 more. You hold on for a few more weeks, and then Rice is back. KW, you seem like you feel like they lost, and so
I think they definitely won. While you guys were talking, I was trying to come up with a nice way to tell this story, but I don't have a nice way. So again, this story is not going to be good. Do you want to hear it?
No.
Last time I said, well, good, I'll give it a shot.
The last
I said no. This is how you
I don't know
can't put it
where
on
that
us.
you went the last story.
Have you ever been randomly around a celebrity that you don't notice? One time we were at the bar.
Yeah, you guys thought that happened with me and Wayne Gretzky in Kansas City, but I knew it was Wayne Gretzky. I just played it so cool.
I should have used that.
I just played it so cool that Wilds was like, I don't think Nick knew that was Wayne Gretzky. I was like,
I
don't think he knew that I was Nick Wright.
Crowded bar. World famous celebrity in this bar. Mm-hmm. Someone comes up and be like, that's world famous celebrity? I said, where? Where that's world famous celebrity? Looks totally normal. That's the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I thought this was supposed to be this amazing person. Looks totally normal. The Chiefs just look like any other team.
That's totally true.
What do they do great? I don't know. They just look like any other team that played the Giants. And I know we're acting like the tackle that turned the tide perhaps did turn it. Chiefs this season, points, those are the last 3 games. Now, the first 2 teams they played were really good and have good defense. Okay. Points are largely the same. We're going to score around 20 points. The yards around 300 total yards. Yards per play actually less against the Giants, a handful of bombs. Mahomes is not completing a ton of passes. Pass completion percentage is way down.
Yeah, but last year's
normal
completion percentage, not only do I not care about it, I don't think you guys actually care about it. You just talk about it because last year, when we were talking about it being the worst year of his career, he had the highest completion percentage of his career. Completion percentage
I think
it
depends on the other
the other things. But I agree with you, Wilds. Right now, Right now, the only thing special about him is the uniform, and then who we know the head coach and the quarterback are, and the fact that they have for 7 straight years played their best football at the end of the year. To me, the point of yesterday was to make sure they didn't dig a hole they couldn't get themselves out of.
Yeah.
And
so
remember,
I'm not acting like they
were
played.
predicting a blowout.
Right. I mean,
it was almost a blowout.
So, are you going to move on?
Yeah,
Okay, just real quick before we move on, because here's the one other thing, Brou. Because Wilds kind of, poo-pooed it. Now the Chiefs are 1 win away from flipping the narrative entirely. From not only are they fine, but it's what's wrong with Baltimore, who then themselves will either be 2-2.
We will feel like we know what's wrong with
Baltimore. Or 1-3, which leads us to, it snuck up on us, KW. First things first, Bowl 3. Week 4, Baltimore and Kansas City.
Season's on the line.
I'm telling you, what if Baltimore loses tonight? 2 1-2 teams coming to Kansas City, desperate for a win. First things first, Bowl 3
is something.
I need a W in this.
I'm
0-2. Come on, Ravens.
Yeah.
You guys look awesome. I don't know what's going on here.
Nick definitely has somebody doctoring his situation.
No, that's the Washington Post.
They crush it.
Yeah, all right, go ahead.
That's a
Sorry,
great look.
I know we
Just
gotta
leave that up there. Check in on the champs who found themselves in a huge second-half hole before Jalen Hurts and his much-maligned aerial attack led a comeback, capped off by a blocked field goal, which sealed the game for Philadelphia. Here's A.J. Brown.
I truly believe, man, we got so many good players on this team, and at times, you can feel like we're being conservative, and I don't think it should be like that. I think it should, let your killers do their thing, and play fast and play aggressive. I'm not saying that we haven't been, but me personally, that's what I would like. Obviously we're gonna run the ball and we're gonna set up the run off the pass and the pass off the run, but we have a lot of good players and I feel like you should just let us go.
Well, we got to invest in a small steady cam. Gianna, can we invest in one of those small steady cams?
Send it to the Eagles?
Send it to the Eagles to thank them for their wins. Brou, what did the Eagles prove in their comeback win?
Well, they proved a few things.
Okay.
The first being that they own the Los Angeles Rams.
Say it.
And everybody's All-American, Matt Stafford. They just do.
Thank you.
All right? They won 4 straight games against the Rams. The Rams haven't beaten them since 2020, I believe, when Carson Wentz was the quarterback.
Love it.
So they own them. And yesterday, Nick, it felt like they big brothered them. Not that they spotted them the lead, but it was like they were like, okay, this is ridiculous. At halftime, they just were like, all right, enough is enough. And just totally outplayed them in the second half. And obviously in the second half, they proved, look, open up the offense. I'm not saying you have to go Justin Herbert against the Chiefs or old Patrick Mahomes, whatever. But open up the offense and let Hurts throw the ball. I don't disagree with what A.J. Brown said. I have no problem with him saying it because he's absolutely right. And that will open things up for Saquon. Saquon still, he had a few nicer runs in the second half yesterday, but still has not been able to get it going because the defenses are stacking the box and not thinking you're going to throw. So if Jalen's proven I can throw. Every time he does it recently, it's worked. So I'm not saying throw it 35 times a game, but open up the offense. You'll be a better team.
Desperation to let him throw is your point.
And if you start doing it now, if for some strange reason he's struggling and it doesn't work, or you lose a few games because he's throwing too much, you can dial it back. But they need to open it up a little bit more.
Here's Jalen's stats in just the second half after being down 26-7. 4 drives, 16 completions on 23 attempts, 200 yards in the second half, 3 touchdowns, no interception, passer rating of 137. What I liked the most about it upon reviewing the game, because I was obviously deep with my favorite quarterback, Drake May, my second favorite quarterback now, Jalen Hurts, is knowing, you know what it reminded me of, Nick? When Saquon was talking about the tush push, everybody knows what's coming and you can't stop it. The big knock on Jalen Hurts is, can he complete these passes when everybody knows it's coming? 5-play drive, 79 yards. 2nd and 13, AJ for 38. 3rd and 10, Devontae for 16. 3rd and 10, 8 minutes left. AJ goes for 25. 3rd and 10, under 5, AJ for another 23. So everybody knew it was coming. He has to throw the ball. Hasn't really thrown the ball all year. Still successful. And I didn't make any sarcastic comments there at all.
What do you mean?
I'm just trying to.
He's the best quarterback in the world.
No, I'm just trying to just give a solid analysis there. Just running off some numbers, not doing any funny voices, not doing anything crazy, not saying I told you so to anybody. Just trying to just.
You should.
Trying to be professional.
Here's the thing.
Here.
Kevin Wildes believes in
nice.
Jalen Hurts more than the Eagles' offensive coordinator does. I
don't know what his deal is.
He needs to open it up.
He had to get talked to by the leader of the team.
Correct, and that was a good job by Jalen.
Yeah.
Being like, hey, sorry, my mic pack fell off. Oh, that's why my hand's behind my back here. I'm not trying
I thought you were doing like a Houdini bit.
No, can we show the numbers? Show the first half numbers. Go through both of these, Josh, if we could. So, 33 yards in the first half is impossible.
Yeah.
And then 255 in the second half is phenomenal. And then Jalen passing the ball first 10 quarters of the year. 7 passes that went more than 10 yards through the air. Second half against the Rams, 9. And so this was, to me, kind of a best-case scenario for your take, Kevin Wildes, which is why I'm going to pay the Eagles as big of a compliment as I possibly can.
Wow.
What did the Eagles prove in the comeback win? At this moment, the 2025 Eagles are the 2024 Chiefs, where they are. What's wrong, Wildes? What's wrong?
I don't think they think that's a compliment.
The defending champ that is undefeated in real life finds a way to win, but they're undefeated in real life, but winless in hypothetical situations. They literally won a game with blocked kicks like the Chiefs did. They are the team that knows how to win and can beat you a million different ways, but none of the games feel clean. You know what I like? It is they have graduated to the championship pedigree thing, which is we can act like the 2024 Chiefs season was a total disaster. They won 17 games and went to the Super Bowl.
I just don't know. We put it on a platter like.
It's a compliment from me. Maybe it wouldn't be for you.
If you said that it's at City Hall in Philadelphia, I don't know if it'd be like, yeah.
Well, I feel like, Nick, and I'm sure there were some games that were, because I'm thinking of the Denver win that didn't feel that impressive with the block.
The block kick.
Yeah, but there were other, it felt like a lot of their wins were just, they didn't play that well, but they were low scoring, but they won. This one felt, for Philly, I get what you're saying, but that second half was just, bulldozed.
That I totally agree.
Like that feels
But
different.
it was where, and it even gets to, and we can, they're getting a bit of the Zapruder film, did you miss this call stuff from the internet like the Chiefs got last year, which
false starts.
Give me a break.
Right, which we would be remiss, by the way, since it was such a story last week, if we didn't at least follow up briefly on the tush-push stuff, right? So the tush-push, because Pereira pointed out immediately, right? The 4th down tush-push, they showed it. And he was like, you know what I mean? It's so hard to call. It's a false start. The thing is this. It wasn't hard at all in the Saints game. Because the Saints game, there was a tush-push, there was a false start, and they called it. So I have another announcement. Because the tush-push, I do think people are going to get flagged on.
Yeah.
Except the Eagles.
Right, which is why it's not the tush-push anymore, boys.
This guy is bad.
Tush-push gone. Long live the early bird. It is. They're the only ones who can get away with it. Tush push
in the lab.
In the lab.
The tackle that turned.
He's been waiting all
early bird. The early bird. KW. Be honest.
The early bird.
Early bird's pretty good.
Early bird is good.
We call it early bird's going to keep it rolling. Everyone else is trying to do tush push. Brotherly shove would have been Philly, but it was called tush push.
Never really caught on.
Yeah, early bird
syllables.
Yeah, listen, if they're going to do it, they can get away with it. The poor Saints can't. They can't.
Eagles in Tampa Bay, battle of the undefeated teams.
That's going to be a good game. Tampa's beating them last year.
Yeah.
But Tampa's down everybody now.
Packers were talking about going undefeated. Yesterday they were talking about losing to the Browns. Cleveland pulls off the upset 13-10. Here's Micah postgame.
This is all part of adversity. Undefeated seasons, they're hard in the NFL. Let's be real. And sometimes, just like today, you to bed. That's just the reality of it. It happens to the best teams. You know what I mean? Even the best Super Bowl champs make mistakes, and they pay for it early. You know what I mean? You go back to the history of the champions and who they played and games they should have won. It's just part of being natural. It's that competitive. It's that hard to win.
He's not on the Cowboys anymore. Keep going. Concerned about this Packers performance.
The Browns who got blasted by 24 points a week ago in Baltimore. I was there. I watched it. The Browns who, Nick, have yet to score 18 points in a game this season. 18, including yesterday. The Browns whose quarterback has 2 touchdowns and 4 interceptions this season. That's who you lose to. I don't like it one bit. I love it. I love this.
Why?
I love it
Now I'm
because
confused.
it is just what the doctor ordered.
What?
They win 2 games over 2 good teams, and now they got the offensive linemen talking about we want to go undefeated. Right? They saw themselves atop Nick's tiers and thought they had arrived. J-Lo was on Brou's ballot and thought he was the man.
Yeah.
They clearly went into Cleveland taking the Browns lightly. They felt like they were playing a college team because the way they got pushed around on the line of scrimmage on both sides, like they had been shutting everybody down in the run.
I think the Packers defense was pretty
The
great
defense
in
was
this game.
fine,
Yeah.
but they have been shutting everybody down in the run. I was talking about that every week. Oh, they got 2 yards of carry against the Packers. Yesterday, the Browns got 5 yards of carry, and the kid Judkins almost had 100 yards. So they ran. That proved to me when they ran on them. I get it. They didn't score a ton of points, but they don't have an offense that can score points, and they still were able to run the ball on the Packers. So to me, I'm serious. This is what they needed. They were a little bit cocky and thinking that, hey, we got Micah. We're the best team in the NFC. We've arrived, and now they know they got to get back into the lab. And J-Lo turned into J-No with that pass. Quickly, the thing about him, Nick, he had gone 9 games without an interception.
Yeah,
and usually he's streaky.
I know.
Right? So let's see if this turns into another streak of interceptions or he fixes it real quick.
So here's the deal. I don't really care about Micah's comment because I thought the defense was exceptional. The Browns had 3 points going into this moment, and the only reason they got a touchdown there, he returns it to the 4. You know what I mean? The Packers defense did its job. The Packers offense struggled the whole game, and then despite that, all you have to do is not turn the ball over. Right. It's if you go incomplete there, that's fine. You are punting to Joe Flacco to go 80 yards on the Packers defense. He's not going to do it. So this to me was just confirmation that my take when the Packers trade for Micah Parsons, I will double down on it. The most intriguing person in the NFL this year is that guy, Jordan Love. Because if he can just be steady and good, they can win the championship. But that type of mistake, to me, Brou, you're talking about as a wake-up call. I look at it as a flashing red light. Like, that was concerning. That's the only way you lose that game.
Micah back to Dallas for Week 4. Brou with the grade for the Cowboys up next on First Things First on the Fox Sports Channel on SiriusXM. You guys look fantastic there.
Whoa! That was a bop! Ooh, let's keep the party going with the Claptrap Public Domain Serenade! Happy birthday to you! Let's all loot and shoot! Ba-ba-doo-doo! Borderlands 4! Well, that kind of fell apart toward the end. But you get the idea. Borderlands 4 is out now! Buy it! Buy it, buy it, buy it!
Rated M for mature.
Hey, subscribe to the podcast, which has been described as the Baker Mayfield of podcasts. Once you give it a shot, you say, holy cow, this is way better than I realized. Also, the YouTube channel. Thank you. Welcome back to the show. Super Bowl champion Greg Jennings is here. Cowboys went to Chicago, got cooked. Dak threw 2 interceptions. Matt Eberflus's defense got gashed for the 2nd straight game. Here's Jerry Jones when asked if he still thinks the Cowboys are a playoff team. Take a listen.
I will tell you, yes. And it's because you saw number 4 out there today, and you saw what I think we're capable of doing in the running game and that type of deal. So, yes, I fully do. Now, we've got to, as we evolve toward the playoffs, we've got to get better defensively, certainly.
Okay, your Cowboys this season, here's the defensive ranks without Micah Parsons. 28th in points, 30th in yards. Passer rating 31st and dead last in third down.
It's almost like the defense that for 4 years was the worst in the league when Micah wasn't on the field is playing whole games without Micah on the field.
All right, we are looking live at the question mark beneath which
Is it
is some
really a
sort.
question?
Well, we never know.
Yeah, Brou, sometimes
Never know.
you do a whole preamble and then you're like, and that's why they get C minus.
Well,
We have no clue.
Allow me to do my preamble.
Please.
Here we go.
Look, I really thought they were going to win this game. Going into it, I thought they were going to. When they gave up 450 yards to the shell of Russell Wilson, I should have known better, right? But, Nick, you said it. The Cowboys are proof that EPA is a legitimate statistic. I mean, the last 4 years, EPA has said that they are the best defense in the league with Micah Parsons on the field and the worst defense in the league without. They are the worst defense I've seen in years. Like every one of Caleb's 4 touchdown passes, I'm not taking anything away from him, but the receiver was wide open. Every single one of, and a few of them, nobody was within 15 yards.
One was a flea flicker.
People weren't flea flickers. It was. And Ben Johnson did a great job calling plays in the game. But
Didn't even need a tush push.
and then offensively with Dak, I heard he was playing as better than any quarterback in the league. That's what people were saying. People were texting me after I said that's ridiculous on the air. And he has his 2 interceptions. I know one of them wasn't his fault, but then George Pickens. How you drop that ball? You know, that interception. The one bright spot was Javonte Williams, who I've always liked.
Privately.
10 totes, 76 yards. But even he fumbled. So even the bright spot.
You got to just give me that.
That guy
just took it from me.
He just took it from me.
So even the bright spot turned out to not be a bright spot. So that leads me to the bottom line, which everyone wants to see. It's an F. You know it's an F. In fact, it's such an F that I got to hear from my boys.
Oh, we have a button?
Well, you know what the button does, the F button?
Hey, Jerry, I got a question. Hey, Jerry, one simple question. Where's Micah? Where's Micah? That defense versus the run versus the pass. So mad it was another F game. F game, F game, F game. All right.
You joined
Absolutely. Excellent job. Excellent work. Better work than the Cowboys.
No good.
F game
Show has
already.
peaked yet again. Downhill.
I want to let Greg.
As always.
I want to let Greg go, so I'm just going to add something. You guys know the last time Caleb Williams played in a game that he wasn't sacked?
Never. USC?
Yeah.
September of 2023 against Stanford. The last team to not be able to sack Caleb was
It's
the
like they could
Stanford Cardinals.
use like
So
Micah
listen,
Parsons type
and now CD goes out, which was their own, and
How long is that?
well, listen, Stephen Jones
ankle?
said he had a high ankle, but then they tried to say he might play this week. I'm not sure who reported it, but since we went on there, they're saying he's probably going to miss a couple weeks. High ankle for a receiver is even if it's the most mild, you usually miss some time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's one of those injuries that
Lingers all year. It's a
because
disaster.
if he gets touched, if it gets just tweaked, it reestablishes the initial injury. But yes, F game. This is very fitting. Like, I think what has always been frustrating for me as someone who's played on offense is when a critical player goes down, like, is your offense simply just tailored to that individual? I know how important of a player CeeDee Lamb is. Everyone does. However, you have to have a counterpunch. You have to have a plan in place if something were to happen. And it's like when CeeDee Lamb went down, it's over. He's so heavily relied on to produce and to create opportunity for everyone else that there's no way this team is going to have success. So when Jerry's asked, still believe we're a playoff team? No, not when the one thing that you have going for you, because he said number 4 is out there. Well, yes, number 4 is out there, but if number 88 isn't out there with number 4, it doesn't matter, especially with the numbers that we're seeing with this defense. Look, it was terrible.
Yeah.
It was terrible. This is fitting. I would have given them because I'm a little soft sometimes because CD is a receiver, and I know the value of receivers is great.
He's not a corner.
So you would have given him a D?
I would have given him a D because
no, the Cowboys' defense is unplayable right now. And I mean, Diggs is not himself, and he's hurt. Bland is hurt. They don't have the horses on defense, and they can only win shootouts. And without CeeDee Lamb, they can't win shootouts.
It's going to be a bad if the Packers Micah comes to town next week.
Next week without CeeDee is going to be a disaster.
Man.
Disaster.
It's not going to be good. On the other side of the ball, Caleb just came alive, just short of 300 yards, throws 4 touchdowns, tallies a passer rating of 143. The Bears locker room fired up. Take a listen.
Quarterback had 142.6 passer rating. Hey, I love y'all boys. Couldn't do this without y'all. I got one more. My bad. It's Boss Man's first home victory. First win.
They counted the preseason game, probably. Caleb yesterday completed 68% of his passes, again, just short of 300 yards. But career best yards per pass, touchdown interception ratio. Nick mentioned he was never sacked. And the passer rating, according to Ben Johnson, 142.6. I would have rounded up in the locker room.
Sure.
Just saying. Nick, are you back in on your guy, Caleb?
I never gave up on Caleb. What are you scoffing about, Brou?
You dropped him like a bad habit.
No, I would expect you, of all people, Brou, to respect this. I was trying to be kind to my dear friend Danny.
Exactly.
In fact, as is written in 2 Corinthians, verse 9 and 10, give what you have decided in your heart to give, for God loves a cheerful giver. I thought you, of all people, would understand that I was just trying to do right.
I love you getting into the word.
I appreciate that.
And I expect that to continue.
God is able to bless abundantly, verses 10 and 11. I assumed that wouldn't be thrown in my face. My God. Listen, this is the type of game that I thought he would have last year.
Yeah.
And then
in the NFC title game.
Well, yeah, maybe. That would have been great. And yes, everything has to be reverse curved against this Cowboys defense at this point. But still, that not getting sacked, I think honestly, and Greg, you can tell me if you think I'm being too kind here. I feel like Caleb last year, the moment the flea flicker toss back to him is off, he's looking to run or throw it away. You know what I mean? Like, he was almost too cautious last year with not making a mistake. And the fact that he had, courage is the wrong word, but you know what I mean? He was like, no, we're going to stick with it.
Yep.
And that is, I understand Burden hasn't beat, but that's a hell of a throw. Hell of a throw.
It was about 60-something yards.
And so he now, again, if he's going to be graded against the people in his draft class for this season thus far, he's been the best one. Now it's Jaden missed a game, and Drake, has, I think, actually played well, just makes a lot of mistakes. Penix was terrible. Yeah. McCarthy's hurt. I'm leaving. Bo Nix has been, I think, mediocre. Yeah. But, this is a hugely positive sign. And as Danny's talked about, Greg, now they win next week, which they're supposed to. You're fine going into the bye. You're settled and you're fine. And you've seen the week-to-week progression that you hoped under Ben Johnson.
Yeah, this was very positive. It was like the perfect storm. You kind of alluded to what Dallas gave up the prior week against the Giants and Russell Wilson. Yeah. It's like, as a player, you see these games and you're like, there's no way they're going to play us like that. If they do that, I'm going crazy. So when you turn on the film and you see holes throughout an entire defense on how you can attack them up front, at the second level, every single level of their defense, it's exciting. You have to be able to put together a game plan to support that. And I thought Ben Johnson did a phenomenal job of setting up all the other plays, going 12 personnel, that's 2 tight ends, and shoring up the fact that our quarterback's not going to get hit today. Our quarterback's not going to get pressure to where he is uncomfortable and he can't get in rhythm. They established that early, set up the flea flicker. Yep. Now you make plays, you're positive, things are happening. There's still work to be done.
Yeah, of course.
But against a defense like this, you got to tip your hat to Caleb. He did exactly what he should have done in that game.
Yeah, look, I thought Ben Johnson did a great job calling plays. He called a few design runs for Caleb, which I wanted him to do. So that's something they can lean into because obviously he's got that skill. But the question is, look, he was great. I don't want to take anything away from him. Obviously, Dallas's defense is horrific. The thing for him is he's got to be consistent. Because remember, as I pointed out, last year he had some moments that were – and all of these moments do show you, like, his ceiling is crazy. Yeah. Like, his ceiling is star, superstar, whatever, all that people thought he could be. He's just got to become consistent at doing it every week. And if you have next week, let's say the spectacular play isn't there. He's still got to be on time, not make the mistakes.
And he still missed some of those.
Yeah, he missed a few throws.
But next week is just such a massive game for the Bears.
It really is.
But it's by any means, it doesn't matter how they win. Because if they can beat the Raiders next week, they then have a bye. And then who do they play coming out of the bye? The team that ended their season last year, the Commanders. The whole Jaden Caleb, the Hail Mary, the whole thing. And so you have extra time to prepare. He's got to beat the Raiders.
Coming up
which
next.
is hard to do. I mean,
Greg Jackson steals the show. Talking Chargers and Colts next on First Things First. A little bit F game.
All right.
You joined
Absolutely. Excellent job.
Justin Herbert takes down the Broncos to move to 3-0.
That was crazy.
That might be throw of the year.
Become the first team to start 3-0 with all division wins since 2006. Meanwhile, oh boy, Classic 2 turns into a 3-0. Look at this guy, Josh Allen out here wearing a Colts jersey. Here's how Justin Herbert and Daniel Jones are doing this year. Yards per pass, 9.3 for Daniel Jones, who leads the NFL. Passer rating, 111. For Daniel Jones. So what is the number one story here? The 3-0 Chargers, Greg, or the 3-0 Colts?
Oh, we going to me?
Yeah, we're going to start with you.
Well, obviously, I mean, we can't overstate the start that the Chargers made. We're beating the Chiefs.
Yeah, solid.
It's important. But is this really a question?
I can't believe it.
It is about the Indianapolis Colts. Matter of fact, I'm going to take it another step further. It's about Daniel Jones. And I'm going to try to be as calm as I possibly can be. Because there are a lot of people that would say that, oh, Greg, you bailed on Daniel. No, I never bailed on Daniel Jones.
No, he didn't.
Correct, you did.
I've always
talked and understood the talent. Sometimes, as a meal prepper, I get it. Yeah, as a meal prepper, I get excited. Sometimes
I didn't know you could be identified as
that. I want my food now. So sometimes most times, I cook my chicken and I cook it fast.
Yeah.
Then there's other times when I just need to slow cook it, and it's at its best. When I cook it too fast, sometimes I run the risk of something going wrong, overcooking it.
Just so you know, this isn't unique to meal prepping. This is just cooking. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm locked in right now.
And I watched Daniel Jones, and I tried to say these things. Like, well, look at the situation in New York. Offensive line, he's just thrown behind this weak offensive line. He doesn't have receivers. He only has a running back. And we're now deeming him a receiver as well. And then look at his coaching, just carousel, all these things. I said this stuff. No one would listen. I even said, man, he's top 10. I said this. And people did that. Can you get the camera on this guy? They did this.
Aggressive.
They questioned it. They doubted it. And now all of a sudden, I see one win against the Dolphins, pretty impressive.
They punted once all year.
Is it though? They punted one
there
time.
I mean, and they're scoring like 30.
I was going to keep it down. Yeah. He's been protecting the ball. been phenomenal. Daniel Jones is the reason why the Indianapolis Colts are in the discussion for
What?
For what?
For what? Team of the month. NFL
they
team of the
possibly contenders in the AFC.
Oh, gosh.
All they needed was a quarterback.
Okay.
I mean, they can run the ball. They have a good quarterback.
What?
They're a cute team.
All right. Here we go, man.
And look, I'm happy for you.
No, you're not.
You deserve this.
You are not.
No, you went 10 toes down for Daniel Jones years ago and was mocked for it. And you deserve this moment. I'm just afraid it's not going to age well. All right? The 3 wins, the Titans, Denver, that's a good win.
Maybe.
Could have been a loss, but it's a good win, maybe. We'll see what the Broncos are. And then the Dolphins, who, you know, what they do.
Yeah.
Just take the
Daniel Jones is balling, but
hollow wins.
It's not all about Daniel Jones down in Indy. You know I'm from Naptown.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And what people are yelling about is, yes, Daniel Jones, we found something. But how can we give the running back some credit?
Of course.
Can we give some love to Jonathan Taylor?
Yes.
Look at this run. This is the run of the year. We got catch of the year and all that. Run of the year. That is incredible.
It is.
He is opening it up for Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones is looking good, Greg. And I think they looking like a playoff team. I wouldn't go contender.
Yeah, I'm not writing in Sharpie that they're in the playoffs yet. For the
No,
record.
me either.
For the Colts, it's been a great start to the year and it's a great story. And I thought the Titans, idiotically, I thought they would give them a game.
Who'd you pick in that game?
I picked the Titans to cover.
Okay,
I picked the Titans to cover.
Just
and they got it, and I will
He
never.
deserves it.
No, that's fine.
But
you guys
it's been a rough
to be
6
fair,
years for him
to
since
be
he
fair,
said he's top 10.
But you guys, regardless of any of that, the bigger story is obviously the Chargers.
No, it's not. That's why we didn't start with you. That's why we started
The
with me.
Colts is
We knew you were going to do
Hold
this.
on.
It's not.
Colts is a shock.
No one wants to hear that.
Guys,
Chargers aren't a shock.
yes, but the Chargers are more. Last
Whoa,
week
finish that statement.
relevant. They're more relevant.
They beat the Chiefs.
I agree with that.
Not only
They are
it's not
more
because they
relevant.
beat the Chiefs.
I mean,
it's
we see what
because
the Chiefs
it's
are.
because the Chargers have a viable path to a deep
I agree with that.
postseason run. They have a star quarterback, a star coach, a defense that, if we can throw it up real quick, Dust, has an argument that it might be the best defense in the NFL. They are likely the only thing standing between the Bills and the 1 seed. Like, the Chargers are the story. And the fact that they won a game yesterday that they have lost for decades, that they instead were the team that forced the chargering into the other team, is why they are the bigger story. I'm sorry, I don't mean to disappoint you.
No, don't try.
The Colts
are more
wanna,
relevant.
We want to
I think
capture the
Colts are
entire
biggest story
season
right
now. All of a sudden, nobody thought the Colts could be doing this right now.
I'm with you.
No one.
What I'm saying, the Colts beating the Dolphins and the Titans.
I don't care. We thought they would be 0-3. We thought they had quarterback issues. So now all of a sudden, because they don't have quarterback issues and they're 3-0, oh man, they only beat the Miami Dolphins, the Broncos,
We've
and the
created a
Titans.
monster.
He deserves
Yes, you have. Can't wait for the mountain.
Live from New York. It's a show saying, I don't care what the relationship is. It's weird to touch your coach, and it's weird for your coach to be pushing you. I'm just saying, as the leader of the show, I don't want to be getting bumped. Come and
Hold on, who are you in this? Careful here. Who are you in this metaphor?
This is going to be strange. Oddly bold.
See, this is.
Second hour, first things first. Today,
You're Reed. You're Kelsey.
You're Mahomes.
I'm Mahomes.
Obviously, yeah, that's right. You nailed it.
I'm Tyquan Thornton. From New England. You know.
Not probably the Patriots.
Today, are we ready to slam the door shut on the Cowboys playoffs? Oh, so George Pickens just, he threw his helmet once. Now, if he
Is
went,
that better? Look at that.
KW, please don't. This is where the straw man will get you in trouble. Please don't compare George Pickens' on and off the field behavior as a paragon of what's not talked about and what is okay compared to Kelsey.
I don't know what you're saying.
Okay.
What's the paragon?
Like,
I really don't understand. I'm saying
George Pickens has been heavily criticized for years for his on-field behavior and sideline behavior, right?
Yeah.
And it's far worse than what we've seen from Travis, or you disagree?
I disagree with that.
Okay.
Really?
I think I think having physical contact is a different line.
Okay.
Besides slamming your stuff. Eagles soar in the second half. Jalen Hurts has won 17 straight games. But can he actually win? We discuss. Meanwhile, talking about the dynasty, Mahomes aired it out. Kelsey aired out some grievances. Russ airballed several passes. Chiefs get into the win column. Here's Patrick Mahomes.
More than anything, we just had to clean it up. You know, we were getting drives going, but we kept getting stopped and getting field goals instead of touchdowns. And so I thought the guys did a good job of cleaning it up, and the defense played their tail off, kept us in the game. We just want to play better. You know, we hadn't played at our standard these first few weeks. The defense played their tail off, and the offense, we cleaned it up there, but we have to keep building and keep getting better.
Should Chiefs fans feel good about this victory?
Relieved, for sure, and good in this regard. Listen, I know Chiefs Twitter right now, some of which involves some Hall of Fame Chiefs, you know what I mean, are more down on the team right now than I am. And it is because I think, first of all, one of the frustrations I have when we talk about Patrick in comparison to any other quarterback, and it's like, hey, look at his numbers, look at those guys', there is no context for the amount for any player currently or historically for the amount of success Patrick had, you know, in his first 7 years starting, as far as individual success, team success. So when Coach says success like a martini, it relaxes you. We don't know what numbers Josh and Lamar would be putting up if they had climbed the mountain 3 times over, those types of things. The reason I bring that up is the only context we have for a team trying to every single year without any gap compete for a championship and doing it is the Patriots. You know, particularly the Patriots, the last decade Brady was there. And when they made those 8 straight conference championship games, which is the record the Chiefs are chasing at 7 straight, they started 4 of those 8 years 2-2. They spent September, a lot of those years, figuring stuff out. That hasn't been the Chiefs' path, but right now it appears that it is. So I am looking for, is there improvement? I thought week 1, I came in here and I was like, man, that for the first time in forever, that pass defense worries me. I feel better about that now. I don't think it's fixed, but I'm not panicked about it the way I once was. I don't think they are going to fix the running back spot, absent a trade, but I think that might be a trade acquisition that they make. They are getting Worthy back. They will get Rice back. And Thornton, I am cautiously optimistic that he is, you know what I mean, a piece.
Should be.
And so last night they go into the Giants, a team with a great pass rush in theory, where their 2 starting receivers are literally 2 guys who were not good enough to make the Patriots, and they found a way to have a comfortable win after an awful first half. And so I think right now you are in the odd survive and advance portion of your season with a chance to flip the narrative entirely Sunday if you beat the Ravens. And so I feel good about it. The team they are right now could not win a playoff game, except they won't be this team come the playoffs. And in the playoffs, they get a different level of Patrick, at least they have every single year. So that's why I feel relieved and better, I think, than most.
Look, the fans should be, relief is a great word. I mean, it's your first win. You got to get some wins. And like Nick said, these first 6 weeks, whatever, are about surviving. Now, if they beat Baltimore, it becomes different and you start expecting them to win every week again. But right now, it's about surviving until you get guys back. Look, there are still concerns. I don't think you're saying there aren't. Mahomes has had really good moments. I thought he was really good in the second half. He still missed a few throws that were odd for him, but he played well. Harrison Butker, that's interesting.
He's missed
right?
2 field goals and an extra point.
Yeah, he's been, obviously a huge part of their success the last few years. And so that was odd. That's something to be concerned about. I like, Greg, that Tyquan Thornton might be becoming something. And then when you get Worthy and Rice back, now he's getting more confident and things like that. So there are things to feel good about. We all, I think, expected an ugly win. And, and that's what it was, kind of an ugly win. But, yeah, I feel like the same way I felt about them going in. They're going to win this game. they'll survive until they get their receivers back, and they'll probably be better off for this rough start a month or two from now.
Yes, it's tough because games like this, they still leave you scratching your head trying to figure out, are we good? Are we bad? Like, what are we? However, there should be a level of relief. From my perspective and my seat, watching this team play, everything looks unbelievably hard.
Yes.
Unbelievably hard. From the play design, we're seeing Andy Reid call plays, and you know this, like creative plays during the early parts of a season to just sustain drives and get first downs, not to mix up things just to throw a wrinkle in there because we can. No, they have to do that right now. The one positive thing that I see out of this, you guys kind of mentioned it with Thornton, but even beyond that, they're pushing they've clearly made a concerted effort. We're going to push the ball down the field.
Yes.
We're going to keep doing that. And I think that's going to continue to allow them to open up offensively in the passing game because they have nothing in the run game. They got to get better protection for Patrick Mahomes. He's pressing a little bit as that's only natural for him to do because the play that he made on the throw to Pacheco where it's behind the line of scrimmage. He did it twice. I don't see him making that type of play with these other guys out there, and he's not pressing. He's just trying to get something out, create something out of nothing, and I don't think that that's going to be the place when they get full strength, if you will, and I don't know if they ever get full strength, but they got to feel good about getting a win because you cannot lose to the Giants and then feel good being on.
Listen, well, go ahead, KW. I'm sorry.
No, I wanted to get your thoughts on this Kelsey thing. He had 4 catches for 26 yards. Earlier, I forgot which game it was, that he was super demonstrative, yelling on the sidelines. Here he has whoever Andy Reid kind of initiates contact with. I think this is just odd. I know I'm being told that this is like par for the course, and Andy Reid has like spun it into a positive, like he's firing the team up. It just hit my, this is weird radar.
So this is why I don't think it's weird, KW, this is a guy in Kelsey who in his second year threw a flag back at the ref, who has a whole mixtape of sideline meltdowns, if you will, and throwing helmets, who did, in a Super Bowl, bump Andy Reid and almost knock him over, and then they came back to win it. And in that moment, Andy bumps him, and minutes later, at halftime, when the game is, not going well, Andy's asked about it, and Andy's like, I thought it was good. We need some juice. Yeah. Now, if you are making a bigger, almost societal point about who we allow do things like that, and it's like, they're a competitor, and who does things like that, and they get scolded by the media, and that there's some privilege associated with that, I totally agree with you about there being a double standard there, and that if Travis looked differently or had a different reputation or any of that, it would be a bigger thing. But if you're asking me honestly, do I think this is at all a problem for the Chiefs? My answer to that's no. They were in the midst of they were the first practice after winning the Super Bowl against the Eagles. He punched a teammate in the head at training camp into one of those little things and then said, I have to stop doing it. And 2 practices later, punched another teammate. I'm not saying that's good. I'm just saying it's not new.
There's a little element of like the boiling frog here where it's just things have gotten weirder since last year, even though they went to the Super Bowl. A few years ago, and Greg made me think of it, they were doing that snow globe play, spinning around. Yeah. And then Mahomes came on the show. I'm like, hey, when are you going to do the behind-the-back pass? Because things were so easy.
Oh, I agree with that.
They were showmen out there. And now it's like, the fact that the coach and the tight end are like hitting each other because they're so frustrated, it's okay. That fires them up. But we've just traveled far from when I say the Chiefs don't feel like the Chiefs.
Oh, I agree. I think they're stressed. I think they're stressed. I think your point about Patrick throwing the backwards passes is because he's stressed. I think Kelsey reacting this way is because he's stressed. I do think that everything used to be so easy, and now they have an extended stretch of it being hard. I totally agree with that. I'm simply saying I think there is a chance it gets not as easy as it was, but easier again, and we start sliding back down in the other direction. We'll see. Yeah. But, I mean, they did have, the tackle that turned the tide in this game.
We'll see. You got the Baltimore Ravens coming to town.
The bigger story with Kelsey, I don't think he's playing that well or as good anymore. He's still a good player. Yeah, but he's not a great player.
And I think that's part of his frustration.
I think that's a bigger deal.
It's hard to accept that when you've been great for so long.
Yeah. Brou knows that.
I don't know who knows that.
No, we don't know. It's like all wide receivers. Like I'm just saying.
Well, some receivers are receivers, but they weren't good or great. They just were receivers.
Wow.
So not me. Not me. I don't know who he's talking about.
Don't talk about my guy like that. You didn't see the Syracuse high school highlights.
I missed that.
Dreadful first half for the Eagles set the stage for a heroic comeback. Eagles had -1 passing yards at the end of the first half, only 34 total yards, and then the winning began. Hurts unleashed. A.J. Brown has the best game of the season, and Philly wins on a blocked field goal. Here's Jalen.
It's always good to get a win. It's always good to get a win. And if that doesn't show you what type of team we are, I don't know what does. Now, we completely did that to ourselves in the first half. Completely. We played so many styles of football. Where in that first half, we got to get out of this playing not to lose. We got to come out aggressive and play our game. You saw our game in the second half.
That was to the world at large. It also felt like an internal
I don't think listen, I think he gets credit for doing whatever they ask him to do. I do not think he likes the way they have, honestly, called plays for a couple years. You know what I mean? I think that last year it's easier to accept because you're blasting people and Saquon is crushing. This year, if we can put it up, Saquon is not playing well. And Saquon, again, it's too early to be panicked. It's not too early to be mildly concerned. Since as an Eagle, his 5 worst games as an Eagle, 3 of them are weeks 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that, and so
get the something
right. And so the only I'm not even bringing that up to knock Saquon, but if I'm Jalen Hurts, I'm like, okay, if he's running for 150 and the defense is shutting people down, that's one thing.
Yep.
But what they did in that first half, which was the run game isn't working, our defense can't get stops, we're not changing anything because God forbid we ask you to throw the ball down the field, would be at best frustrating and at worst insulting. And so, I thought this should be a victory lap day for you, KW, because we literally were talking last week, what are they going to do if they find themselves down big? And the answer was Jalen will bail them out with the star receivers. But it's really weird that they opted in the whole first half of playing that style.
Yeah, look, I would love to be in their locker room at halftime, just to see the vibe, who comes in, how they come in, just the vibe of the individuals. Because I know how he's going to come in. He's going to come in exactly how he just presented himself, unmoved, unpanicked, like, guys, we got this. Because there's a level of belief that he understands and he knows and he operates with. I just don't believe that those calling plays share that same belief consistently all the time. And to your point, if they did, we would see more of a mixed bag of, okay, we can throw the ball to open up our running game. We can run the ball to open up our passing game, and we see it fluidly.
You would see it like how the Niners 2 years ago.
Correct. And we just don't see that with this team.
McCaffrey and Purdy.
And so what I thought was interesting, and it was the biggest story is definitely the Eagles. Their willingness, because the idea for viewers and for even us as players is, man, we got to go in here. We're going to make some adjustments. We got to change what we're doing. Mm-hmm. That does not happen. I know it seems like that happens because it's like, man, it's obvious. Well, you got to throw the ball. It doesn't always happen because you have a game plan, you have things that you run, and you feel like you owe it an opportunity to kind of just, we got to try it. We got to at least put it out there. Well, in this game, at some point, which happened at halftime. You've had 8 pass plays, 4 completions, 22 offensive snaps. You're 4 consecutive 3-and-outs. It's not working.
Yeah,
we know we are supposed to be able to be the team that we can just run when we want to. However, we have Jalen, who's shown he can throw the ball. We have AJ, who hasn't been involved all season long yet. We have Devontae. We have Goddard. When they made the big play to AJ Brown, they were in single high. The Rams were in single high. The very next play, they went to 2 deep safety. You know who gets the touchdown? Dallas Goedert right down the middle. Why? Because they went to that guy and they allowed number 1 to make a play in the passing game. So it changes now how the defense has to play you. When you are the Philadelphia Eagles, we get it. You can run the ball. You have a style of which you want to impose your will on and enforce onto the game. If it's not working, you also have the ability and the luxury, not like most teams, to where we can beat you in
different ways.
We can win a bunch of different ways. Our quarterback just told you.
I agree with everything you guys said. They have to start throwing the ball more. And I said earlier, Greg, if they have doubts about Jalen, I don't know why you would at this point. Every time it seems like he has to throw, he does it well. But the time is now. Because if you see it's for some reason it's not working, he's not throwing it well, you can always go back. But they need to open, and that will open things up for Saquon too. But I want to take it, because I agree with you guys, to the Rams. This is now 4 straight losses they've had to the Eagles. They've never beaten Jalen Hurts.
3 in the last 10 months.
Yeah, and obviously, like, this is a game you're feeling like we outplayed, that we should have won this game. And now you give it up. It's kind of like we've talked about with the Chiefs and the Ravens, or the Chiefs and the Bills in the AFC. Like, they got to be in the Rams' head on this.
Can I ask you a question for you? Because I feel like you created we'll call it a sports debate bar that was right up on the line of too far. And it's when you were talking about something and Brou said, that's an unacceptable position. Or no, what did you say? It's an unacceptable
opinion. That's based on
you.
I
was like, my word is against.
I was like, that one stung. I'm like, I don't even know if that's within bounds of like what we do. So I'm going to show you. This is the graphic because you were just talking about it. Jalen Hurts versus Matthew Stafford. Because when I defend Jalen Hurts, a lot of people say, well, Stafford, they both have a Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts been to 2, and now it's 4 wins against 0. And completion percentage, total yards, yards per pass, touchdowns and turnovers are tied, and passer rating, all are in Jalen Hurts. Are you willing, Brou, to say it is an unacceptable opinion for someone to hold that currently Matthew Stafford is a better quarterback in the NFL than Jalen Hurts?
I get that he's everybody's All-American, all right? And he throws a beautiful ball.
The arm angle.
That's always been the case. I do think, though, Woz, like, one of the points I wanted to make, at this point, we have to stop saying Matthew Stafford's better than Jalen Hurts. Like, I think Hurts should be above Stafford right now.
Thank you.
They both, like you said, got 1 Super Bowl. I'll give you that Stafford, is the traditional, throws it really well. But all the other things that Jalen does, obviously he uses his legs better. Not to mention Stafford's 37. And the head-to-head, I'm not going totally head-to-head, because Hurts is not better than Mahomes. But in those head-to-head matchups, he's outplaying Stafford. Yesterday, the game was there for the taking. And Stafford
and by the way,
did not deliver.
To be fair,
I
mean, Stafford also is not on the field goal block team. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to be, I mean,
but in the last 29 minutes, he didn't.
I understand. Well, except for at the very end, drove him down to what should have been a chip shot field goal and it got blocked. In a previous field goal, it got blocked. But it's not us you need to convince that, KW.
Wow.
It's Kevin Patullo. Kevin Patullo's the person who, it appears, does not think Jalen Hurts is better than Matt Stafford. Because I don't think the OC there.
OC for 3 games.
Right. I'm just saying you got to convince him.
To.
Yeah. Well, Hurts.
I would imagine that Jalen's going to talk with Sirianni and. This is ridiculous.
They should just be a little more balanced.
Yeah, I'm not saying you got to throw it 40 times, but.
So much for the undefeated season.
And I got no pushback for saying Hurts is better than Stafford.
Oh, we didn't have time. Dust said we had to get to this.
Browns throw a flurry of punches with under 4 minutes to go to steal the round in the game. J-Lo turned into J-Lo were your expectations behind an offensive line that lost two starters on Sunday. Greg, are you worried about your Packers?
No, I'm not worried about them. This is what happened yesterday, and shout out to Coach Mangini, man. I gotta shout out to Coach.
Y'all got 18 upset alert points.
And it's not just about it's not just about making the pick. It's what he said could happen, how he said it could happen, and that's exactly what we saw unveiled itself. But this can't happen. That interception that we're going to show, that we're going to talk about, is the very reason I looked to you a couple weeks ago and I said, man, the Packers, they have everything. The one individual that can't put them in disadvantages defensively and as a team is number 10. It's Jordan Love. That right there, your team,
just win the game.
The Browns cannot go the length of the field and put the ball in the end zone. They hadn't done it all game. Yes, they got the 3 points. You just gave them the ball in the red zone. Put your defense at a disadvantage. They just got off the field.
Yeah.
This is what you can't do. The game is I get it. It's a one-score game. But these are the mistakes that if he makes them, this is what will derail their opportunity to achieve something great.
Just throw up the win-loss record if we can when he doesn't turn the ball over. It's the story.
Yeah.
And by the way, that 14-4, most of those games before they had Micah Parsons, before they had this type of
defense. That's a good
point. Jordan Love does not have the DNA or style of a game manager.
No.
But that's what they need from him. You know what I mean? Like they need it.
But he also doesn't have the ability to be Superman either. He hasn't shown. No, he hasn't shown that he can be Josh Allen. He has some.
No, he's right in between. But he
between
just needs to.
Of that manager,
superstar. I'm upset at our producing staff.
Why?
Because you mentioned game manager, and our producer Dusty, who is an Eagles fan, who's supposed to give me counts to commercial, and hey, we have this sound, says, wish they had Jalen. Just talking as an Eagles fan.
Oh, yeah.
In my ears.
But no, by the way, that part is, I was gonna, like that, that is an argument for Jalen Hurts. Is Jalen Hurts in that spot? Just doesn't make that.
Not going to turn the ball over.
You know what I mean? He's not going to. He's probably not even going to throw it. He's going to drop back. If it's not wide open, I'm going to try to run for these 3 yards.
Take a sack.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't make that mistake.
Dust, you have any other Eagle stuff? Eagle stats?
By the way, I muted Dust on Twitter. He's too annoying during Sunday football, and he hates the Chiefs, and he's tweeting all this stupid stuff. Sorry.
First design run for Jalen Hurts all year.
Okay, buddy, go to commercial.
He's got it ready.
We're way late. Dust, do your
Dusty's
job.
looking at Eagles highlights and trying to produce.
I get it.
I love it, Dust.
Everybody, follow Call Me D Block and then mute it.
And then mute it. Cowboys season over. Next. Welcome back to First Things First. No huddle time. 3 stories. We will not huddle during this segment. First up, Cowboys get lit up by Caleb and Ben Johnson in Chicago. Dallas drops to 1-2. It's been a bit of a feast against this Dallas defense. Jalen Hurts completed 83% of his passes. Russ threw for 473 yards, and Caleb had 4 touchdowns, no turnovers, best passer rating, and he wasn't sacked for the first time in his career. Is anybody ready to throw the towel in on the Cowboys season?
Yeah, I will.
Oof.
CeeDee Lamb, high ankle sprain.
There you go.
It's a wrap. And listen, again, if you guys watched Sports Media Ombudsman last week, if the reporting is not as bad as it was feared, it's 2 weeks minimum out. And so he's going to miss at least the next 2 games. And the other reporting I'm hearing is not planning to put him on IR, which means they thought about it. So it's at least a couple weeks out. And I think it's real on the board that they just have the worst defense in the NFL. And so, yeah, I will go ahead and write off the Cowboys. And I think it's possible that they do finish last in this division. I mean, the Giants, we talk about the Giants are a total joke. That's fine. Giants and Cowboys literally just played, and the game couldn't have been closer than it was. And both teams have lost all the other games they've played. So, yeah, I mean, I think they're in real rough shape.
If not for Brandon Aubrey, who is a phenomenal kicker, they could be 0-3. And like I said, I thought they were going to beat Chicago. And I thought, when you look at the NFC, you got the 4 division winners. You got Detroit or Green Bay, whichever one doesn't win. And that's it for certainty. We're not even certain anymore about Washington. We're not certain about a second team in the AFC or NFC West or a second team in NFC South. So if they were just pretty good, they'd be in the hunt. But they showed yesterday they're not pretty good. That defense is worse. Well, I think it's worse than the Bengals last year, at least what we've seen so far. And Dak, as good as he is not Joe Burrow. And they don't have a receiver, especially with CD out, that Cincinnati has. So, yeah, they're done. They're toast. That defense just isn't good enough.
Yeah, I'm throwing in the towel. Look, and it's yes, it has a lot to do with CD, but I think it's gonna have a lot to do with Dak now, because just like we're seeing with Patrick Mahomes, and when the quarterback doesn't have the weapons that he's accustomed to, he's going to force things that he probably ordinarily wouldn't and shouldn't. That's going to end up being Dak. He's going to have to take more risk. That means turnovers are going to increase. With that defense, you can't turn the ball over at all. So, yeah, no.
Can I give a real quick Galaxy brain take?
Ooh, yeah.
If I were Buffalo, because Bass is hurt, and maybe even Baltimore, just because they're unsettled post Justin Tucker, I would honestly consider seeing giving up a second-round pick for Brandon Aubrey. Like those two teams that are trying to and I know that sounds crazy to give up for a kicker, but if you are the ultimate S-Bob team, and if you're the Cowboys, having Aubrey right now is like having the best closer in baseball on the Rockies.
Yeah.
Like it's
just cross the 50-yard line.
Right. And so if you're Baltimore or Buffalo that already score all the time, it feels like you'd get points any possession. I don't know.
I got to give him a tryout in the cold. You got to start kicking in a freezer. We're not in a nice dome anymore. But interesting. Giants, meanwhile, have dropped to 0-3. Russ got booed at the end of the game. He threw
I loved it.
2 interceptions.
-6, baby. Thank you, Russ.
Threw passes into the tunnel and off the uprights.
Extra point. Sweat.
I don't know what's going on here. Here's Dayball on the booing.
Look, I'd be booing too, to be honest with you, in terms of not being good enough. No, not scoring, not finishing. I understand that. That's the nature of it. We got to be better.
Here's Russ this season against the Commanders. Didn't look great. Passer rating under 60, no touchdowns. Then you got to play the Cowboys in that defense. He looked amazing. And then he played the Chiefs. He had 160 yards, 2 interceptions, and a passer rating at 44. Is anyone ready to bench Russ for Jackson Dart?
I am not starting Jackson Dart's first game of his career against that Charger defense. I'm just not doing it. Now, Greg and I both had the mind meld take of, why do you have Jameis Winston?
Exactly.
Just play but I do think that, this is harsh because he's a Hall of Very Gooder, but the final pass of Russell Wilson's Giants career should have been the one that clanged off the crossbar. And that, if it's his final pass of his Giants career, that could be just the final pass. But
is that a pass that is trying to be caught as an errant pass, or do you think that's
Wilds had? Can I?
It's not very. It's not a nice. It's basically a remix of your take.
My take from his, his Broncos year, when people were like, 23 touchdowns, 8 picks. He wasn't as bad as you. If you look at the numbers, I'm not naming names.
96.
But 90. Brou remembers it. I thought he was playing what I called a selfish brand of football, where he was protecting his numbers because he knew I'm on my way out. I need another job. Doing it in this spot would be baffling.
Well, it's 22-9. It's 4th and goal. Is that a catchable ball that he threw, Greg, or is he like?
It's definitely not catchable. Was it a mistake? Is the question.
Well, did he mean it to be a catchable ball that got away from him?
Right.
Why not just, hey, there's a blue jersey over there. I'm going to throw a dart and let you make a play.
I couldn't believe this. And this is what, if you're a Giants fan and you're sitting and you're paying and you're watching these games, I can't keep coming and watching this. I just can't. I think last week it was exciting, and it's almost like we feel like they won, even though they didn't. The win was, Russ looked great.
Yeah.
The offense looked great. Well, now we're starting to see everybody's probably going to look great against the Dallas defense.
Yeah.
They have to do something. And it's tough because I think they're going to end up going to Jackson Dart, and I do not believe they clearly don't want to, because I think it's going to be hard to go from Russ to Jameis, and Jameis is going to give you a better version of Russ, but he's definitely going to give you the interceptions. He's definitely going to give you the roller coaster, and it's like if you're going to just start this young man's career, you got all the other rookies.
After the Chargers, you have the Saints. You know, if you can hold off
I agree with you with the Chargers.
One more
That makes
week
a lot of
and
sense.
then give them a decent start against the Saints.
Russ, and it was the same thing last year in Pittsburgh. All he does is dink and dunk or throw the long ball. That's it. There is no intermediate passing whatsoever. It is so predictable that I agree with you guys. Like Dart, I don't know if they're seeing something that's telling them he's not ready. And I am against just throwing in the rookie just because he was a first-round draft pick if he's not ready. But, you know, like you guys said, put Jameis in there. Jameis will probably be exciting and good for 3 or 4 games if you want that much. You might not even want that many from him. But he could probably do it 3 or 4 games. But the Saints makes a ton of sense to start Dart. But the season's over. They're 0-3, not making the playoffs. It's all about Jackson Dart at this point.
If I can just add 2 very quick things. One is, it also is on Brian Dable to design get the ball in Malik Neighbors' hands somehow. That was outrageous.
Yes.
That's outrageous. Yes. And I don't care who's playing quarterback for you. Find a way to get Malik Neighbors the ball, that's first of all. And second of all, I don't know who I am talking to in the Giants organization. But if you watched that broadcast with the sound on, Chris Collinsworth did his best to, not go overboard, but it was so obvious that everyone within the Giants was telling Collinsworth and Tirico how excited they are about Jackson Dart, how good Jackson Dart is, how they can't wait to have Jackson Dart playing. I don't think that's helpful. And I don't think if you were actually trying to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, I've never heard a broadcast more open about the fact, the very tops of the organization are done with the guy playing quarterback now and can't wait for the guy playing quarterback here when the guy playing quarterback now is coming off the best game he's had in a decade.
That's true.
And it doesn't, I feel like those things were at least semi-related, and it's putting pressure on Dart. You talk about Jackson Dart's aura. My goodness gracious. It was Chris Collinsworth was caught by it.
The Chargers defense will be a test for his aura. You see him where he's reading the wristband?
He's also very, very icy. The late first-round pick that hasn't...
It's a lot of, the financial advisor in me is like,
I know. That's what...
invest some of
I want that guy who walks around and sees if the diamonds are real. Because if those are real, that's your sign.
Rough day in Foxborough where the Patriots turned the ball over 5 times, but oddly still had a chance to tie the game before throwing a 4th-and-1 pass short of the sticks.
Well, it was at the sticks when the guy ran back.
Well, 6 inches short. Yeah. Also, Rodgers threw 2 touchdowns. Here's Aaron.
They came out and played incredible. We were terrible on offense after the first 2 drives. I didn't have a good game, but the defense every time kept us in. I mean, into the first half, deflection, interception, going in for a touchdown, fumble, touchback. I mean, the defense won the game.
Here's the tail of the tape. The Patriots had 71 offensive plays and almost 375 total yards. We had 5 giveaways. We lost by a touchdown. My takeaway is this. The Patriots felt like a little league team out there, rooting for them, but weird stuff happening. Just odd, but we were still in it. And this is going to sound crazy, and because I had a Patriots hat on, a Patriots shirt, and I was there with my kids trying to be the Patriots fan. But this is true if you watch the game. The Steelers are not a scary team.
Oh, that part's definitely true.
Okay, good. That's all.
That part's definitely true.
We might not be good, but the Steelers are not a scary team.
The Steelers are as close to a cross-off at 2-1 as I can remember.
You're going to cross them off.
But here's the...
Well, it's just that the AFC...
The AFC, right, correct.
They're catching breaks with quarterback play, too.
Yeah.
Who they're going up against.
But I called Kevin Wildes this morning, and despite the fact that Jalen Hurts vindicated him, that a lot of things, he's got a great life, great family, all this stuff. He was despondent based off the Patriots game. Mm-hmm. So I will say to you now publicly what I said privately. You have to come to grips with the fact that the team you root for is simply at this point a bad franchise. They once were great. The Patriots have been very, very bad for the exact same amount of time the Chiefs have been very, very good. Think about how long the Chiefs have been good for.
You know.
The Patriots, since the Chiefs started making Super Bowls, the Patriots have been awful. So you shouldn't let it make you, like, Hubs is a Raider fan. I called Hubs this morning. He was happy as could be. I was more upset about the Raiders. He's like, we've been bad for 22 years, buddy. It's your fault for believing in us. You can't let them bring you down, bro. You just root for one of the bad teams. It's like being a Titans fan.
What's the Chiefs' record?
See, this guy. And
my 2 favorite teams. Got 2 wins. 2 and 4 combined, Patriots and Chiefs.
You can lean into that Philly.
I'm trying to help you.
I'm trying to help you.
No, I'm great.
We're both 1 and 2. Your 1 and 2 feels different than my 1 and 2. Well, we're 1 and 2 right there in the AFC. Welcome back to First Things First. Tomorrow,
interesting.
An amazing edition of Mahomes Mountain.
The guy at the top plays tonight.
Oof. Will Lamar keep his spot atop, and how high will Daniel Jones be? Just put him high for Greg, for the sake of the show. Top Dog Performance, sponsored by Good and Fun. You gotta let dogs dog. Ravens-Lions tonight. 2 of the best teams in the league since the start of last season, Brou. These teams rank first and second in points, total yards, yards per play. It's Ravens 1, Lions 2. Red zone touchdown percentage. Ravens are 1, Lions are 3. No one knows who's second. Ravens are favored by 5.5 here, Brou. Are you willing to guarantee that tomorrow you will be robed up, feet on the table, demanding a sandwich, perhaps some chips, and, of course, a soda pop?
You know, in some ways, you guys are like my kids.
Yeah.
Like, they get tired of me telling old stories. They say I tell them all the time. I've told you guys several times. When I was a young boy and I had a baseball or football game or something coming up later in the day, I would get up early and put my uniform on and sit there for hours, just in the house and outside, whatever, in my uniform in anticipation of the game. That's what I will be doing tonight. I'm sleeping in this. I'm sleeping in the sunglasses, the Jordans, all this. I'm sleeping in this in anticipation for tomorrow's show.
How about the sandwich?
I expect it to be great.
In the soda
the sandwich,
pop in bed?
yes, the sandwich and soda pop will be there. There'll be crumbs in the bed, but my wife's out of town, so it's just me, and I'll be good. You know, it's gonna be fun.
I would maybe pause that a bit, Brou.
You picking up?
I think the Lions can win.
Oh yeah.
I think that this is a 1-score game. That is last team with the ball. I just don't believe either team is going to have real success stopping the other team's offense. And as dominant as the Ravens' offense has been, I think there's real fair concern about their defense, because even Cleveland, it felt, moved the ball and then shot themselves in the foot. Obviously, Buffalo moved the ball. So I'm really interested in to see how the Ravens' defense looks tonight. And I'm also really interested in how Detroit, because Detroit obviously amazing in week 2, awful in week 1. They haven't had like a normal game yet.
Goff is 0-3 against the Ravens, too.
Do you have a pick before we get to Bruce headlines?
I have 31-28 Baltimore is my pick for tonight.
I take that.
Yeah. Brou, do you have a headline?
I do have a headline for tomorrow morning. Here it is.
Wow.
Knuckle sandwich.
Knuckle.
Ravens bully visitors. Demand sandwich, chips, and a soda pop.
I like that.
It's not just on the road. Yeah. We invite you to our house and bully you.
I thought this was
We bully you. Welcome. Go get me a sandwich.
Gotta go.
Okay,
go get my roll.
I'm like, where is it?
All that.
First Things First overtime coming up. Live from New York. It's a show that has Danny Parkins here. He's just been cruising. How did Parkins' picks do?
Well,
okay, that's fine. Your overarching
weekend was great.
Yes.
The Rams blocked field goal situation was
Don't worry about that. I'm talking about overall.
Wait, why? Listen,
it's the worst
a losing pick's a losing
pick. Both
of
you guys struggle?
What? No, I'm fine.
He's 1-1 with tonight pending.
Yeah, I need
the worst gambling beat of the year.
Oh, this guy is whining.
What?
He had the Rams.
I had Rams plus 3.5. They make the field goal, it wins. They miss the field goal, it wins.
Exactly.
They lost. Right.
What
was your record?
1-2.
Okay.
1-2.
But your other stuff is good.
My other stuff is great. Sorry, let's focus on the
Submarine.
positives.
Third hour of First Things First. First Things First, overtime. You do get, if he scores, you do get a chance to match. Today
golden goal.
are the 3-0 Chargers, now the darling of the AFC West. They've beaten everybody in first place. Meanwhile, will everyone here finally give Jalen Hurts all the flowers that I have been? A new episode of Stock Up, Stock Down. Perhaps Jalen Hurts' stock is up, considering that he's the Super Bowl MVP and has won 17 consecutive games that he started and finished. But who knows?
Stay tuned.
But right now, good news. Chiefs are no longer winless. 1-3 in their last 4, but they are on a winning streak.
No, they're not on a winning streak.
Of 1.
That's not a streak. It's definitely not a streak. One can't be a streak. They ended a losing streak.
Yeah. They're on a streak, though. They started a streak.
Okay. I hope they did, but...
Mahomes threw a few deep shots that connected or drew a DPI. Rushing attack appeared as the Chiefs ran for over 100 yards. That's good. Here's Patrick Mahomes.
They played winning football, and for us, we got to clean stuff up and get better and better. And but they're playing good. They're playing tight coverage. They're rushing. They're blitzing. They're doing all type of different stuff that you're supposed to do as a winning defense. And so for us, if they can continue to do that and we can clean stuff up, we'll win a lot of football games.
What was your number one takeaway from this game?
They're going to be fine. That was my number one takeaway is, honestly, now the worst case scenario is they're a wild card and they got to fight it out. Because it was this game plus what we were talking about before. Right now, the Chiefs are 1-2. There's only 7 teams in the conference with a better record than 1-2, and one of them's the Bengals, whose quarterback is done and they just got annihilated. One of them's the Steelers, who I don't think is very good. One of them is the Jaguars, who I'd like to tell you are very good, but I've watched every second of every game. They're not very good at the moment, and so had they lost, it's a whole different story.
Yeah.
So they stabilize and, in my opinion, showed progress in some concerning areas, not in all the concerning areas. The pass defense, which I was very concerned about after week 1, has steadied. Now, I'm not overreacting to shutting down Russ and the Giants, even though they just had that prolific game. But I no longer, after week 1, I was like, oh my God, is this pass defense going to be really bad? I don't think that. The running attack was better, but I think the way to fix that is going to be to either get more explosives in the passing game that opens it up, or to trade for somebody. And to me, Thornton is not nothing. That they are having some level of success and willing to throw the ball downfield with Tyquan Thornton makes me feel like, oh, when Xavier comes back this week, when Rice is back in there, all those things are positive. And so they just needed to survive it. And that first half, it looked like they weren't going to. And then Mahomes flipped the game when he stole the ball away from the Giants. And the second half, I thought they played really well. So that's my biggest takeaway is they're going to be fine. They don't yet look like the Chiefs, but they don't need to look like the Chiefs in September.
I mean, that's a pretty big concession from you, actually, though. That they might have to fight it out as a wild card team, because success for the Chiefs is a Super Bowl, and everything short of that is a disappointment. They, to me, looked like a team that the 2 wide receivers coming back is not going to solve all of the problems. I'm with you that should help, and it's reason to be optimistic, and we will see if Xavier Worthy's performance and garbage time in the Super Bowl means he's going to be an awesome player, and Rashee Rice, I do think, is excellent. There's just something about it. Patrick Mahomes needed to play defense. I don't understand. Why is he throwing the ball backwards? That's not Mahomes.
No, I think
I don't really get. He was the guy, number 15. That's the guy that I've always been like, even if his stats aren't elite, he's the best player in football. And I was just like, why is he throwing the ball backwards? They just don't look like themselves.
Right, but
they haven't for a while now.
So all I would say is this is not they have had 4 actually now, stretches of football since they've been the Chiefs where they haven't looked like the Chiefs. And every year by the playoffs, they have figured it out and they look like the Chiefs. So my concern was, are they going to dig themselves such a big hole? You know what I mean? That they and had they lost this game, we have to start really talking about how big is the hole. But I agree with you, Danny, that just getting the receivers back won't fix everything. But I think some of the other things are looking better as the season goes on already.
If this is all if they didn't have a Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy coming back, I think they would be in trouble by their standards. I still think they're going to be the wild card. I think the Chargers are going to win the division, and the Chiefs are going to have to fight it out as the 5th seed probably. But I think they're fine. They'll be fine there. But they have, the defense, Danny, it has been so good the last few years that I think it's going to just keep improving. I think their defense, it hasn't been great so far this season, but I think it's going to keep improving to the point where it's a solid defense. Offensively, Mahomes, when he gets his receivers back, I do think Thornton developing into a legitimate deep threat is big for them. And I think that can even open up a little bit of the running game where, like you said, Kareem Hunt is fine for what he does, but they just don't have any
I think they're going to have to trade for a
explosion from the run game. But look, I still got concerns about now do I have to worry about Harrison Butker? Because kickers sometimes it can get in your head if you miss some chip shots. So those are some of the things that I'd be concerned with, but I think they'll be fine.
My biggest takeaway was, and this is pushing it forward, is I can't wait to see the Ravens game.
Because that's going to be telling. Very telling.
Are the Chiefs a team that figured it out at halftime? And Ian Collins was like, "Ooh, maybe they figured it out. Maybe Mahomes is back to being Mahomes." Or are they the Cowboys? Are like, you're a team that beat the Giants.
Well, go ahead.
Well, no, I think if the Chiefs played the Ravens in January, I'd give the Chiefs the edge. I don't think they're ready for Baltimore. They're an underdog at Arrowhead. I expect them to lose that game handily.
So, they have been
early Parkins picks forecast. Right now, you can get Baltimore -2.5. I don't think the Chiefs can keep up with Baltimore, and their defense has not proven to me to be some sort of difference-making unit that's going to slow down Lamar Jackson.
So my response to that would be, the Chiefs have proven, aside from the Super Bowl, over the last 5 years, that they literally can keep up with everyone, even when that means grinding the game to a halt. They have in their losses this year, they've kept up with everybody. And the Super Bowl, in my opinion, got away from them because of offensive mistakes, not defensive mistakes. And this another reason, again, I'm not conceding the division, to be clear. What I'm saying is I think now, obviously, they're 1-2. It's early to say anything's locked in, but I feel like it's hard to find 7 AFC playoff teams. So I feel like now the short-term goal of the season is to see if you can run down the Chargers. See if the Chargers give a game up they shouldn't, and then you get them again later. But the other part that does make me feel good about the Chiefs, and I made this point after week 1 as well, is watching the NFL. Because teams that we feel like are really good in contenders every week lose a game that the Chiefs simply never lose. The Chiefs never lose the game the Rams just lost, ever. The Chiefs never lose the game the Packers just lost, ever. The Chiefs never lose the game the Ravens just lost, ever. And as mediocre as the offense has been and the numbers have been the last 2 years, yes, big lead that they've blown or self-inflicted, you know what I mean? Just get on the bus with a win. So that has never stopped. So, as long as that maintains while the other things get better, I just think there's a margin for error.
Just quickly before we move on to Caleb, when we talk about Rashee Rice is not there, Xavier Worthy's not there, are we positive he's there? He's got a uniform on. He had 4 catches for 26 yards, and he's 36. Is it fair to be like, oh, Travis Kelce's not really there?
No, he's just not nearly as good.
He's there, but it's like, that's the other, and they have Kelce, not really. No.
I actually think Kelce's one of the biggest benefactors of Rice and Worthy coming back. Because then he's not the primary attention seeker, especially down in the red zone.
KW, what do they call me?
Mr. Consistency, of course.
What did I tell you about Travis Kelce 1 year ago.
That he has a handful of gotta-have-it
I
games.
said that he has 6 great games left in him, and I don't know how he's going to choose to fire that gun.
He banked
that.
So he's got 6 left
No,
now?
that was 2 great games ago. I think we've got 4 or 5.
Wow.
At most, great Kelsey games left in his career, and I think when we see him, we see him. And he is the same age as Rob Gronkowski. Rob Gronkowski retired for the first time 6 years ago.
Yeah, it's wild.
Like, it's just what he's doing shouldn't be.
It's
happening.
crazy.
Yeah.
Classic one from Danny Parkins. Caleb hosted his old head coach in Chicago, toasted Eberflus's defense to the tune of 4 touchdowns and 143 passer rating. Here's Caleb postgame.
All the stuff that's shown up with all the hard work that we've been able to put in as an offense, and all the hard work that I've been putting in myself with the coaches after hours or whatever the case may be. It's nice to show up, and I think the guys are believing more within the coaches, believing more within themselves, and believing more within us. And I say that as the guys, but also me included.
Okay, Danny, you've been riding with Caleb. Do you feel vindicated?
Of course. I've been waiting all day for these next 8 minutes. I'm so happy to be here. Do you guys want to play a game? Like, what was your favorite Caleb Williams touchdown? We got 4 to pick from. Like, it was glorious. Brou, you said that there was nothing he could do because the Cowboys defense, come on.
No, he was great.
He was great.
He was great, but
he was great.
Am I ready to say he's arrived?
No.
That's all I was saying.
Him.
Like I was saying, he had a great statement game, if you will. But there also is the thought of, was that just the Cowboys? Because we saw the difference between Russell Wilson versus the Cowboys and Russell Wilson versus the Chiefs. And it was stark. So I'm just saying, Caleb was fantastic. I don't want to take anything away from him. But
and that is totally fair.
And lastly, last year he had some, not quite this good, but close.
Oh, no, he was very good against the Jaguars, the one game against Vikings.
I think the key now is can he be, he's not going to do that every game, but can he consistently play well, not make the mistakes, when the wild plays aren't there, be on time, all of that stuff.
Yeah, and I think that is all fair. He's got to stack good games. Yep. But for me today, like they tell players, like, enjoy it, 24-hour rule. Yeah. And then you flush it and you move on to the next one. Like, that game
he was great.
Is, I'm 38 years old. I'll turn 39 next month. That is literally one of the best games I've ever seen a Bears quarterback have. And so out of these qualifiers, like, I've seen that game. It's been 3 times in my entire life.
I'm afraid about this graphic.
It's a hilarious graphic.
I wouldn't, Danny. I looked at your paper.
I'm doing it.
I would have rejected this graphic.
I'm doing it.
Just say it's one of the 3 best, guys. You're not going to want to.
Rex Grossman.
That doesn't make you feel better.
Come on down,
Rex
baby.
Grossman. That's where I would have been like, that's not good. That's not
Danny?
good. That's horrifying.
I'm doing it.
That's horrifying.
That's a no-no.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a reason, though.
Yeah.
Because I have seen it before, but it's like once every 20 years. It's like locusts.
But look at what those guys became.
Of course.
With all due respect.
Yeah, of course. But this was his 20th career game. And if you watched it, because we can move to the next graphic, this is the thing we haven't seen yet from Caleb. When he threw the ball deep, man, because his arm is unbelievable.
Yes.
That's great. It is a Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Mahomes,
Russell Wilson,
prime Aaron Rodgers.
We just saw Russell Wilson.
No, hold on.
No,
that's not what he's saying.
That's not what I'm saying.
He's saying the arm. He has the arm strength of those guys.
Well, I know, but against the Cowboys, Russell Wilson was airing it out to Malik Neighbors too.
There was a air of, I would say, flukiness to some of the results on those moon balls that Russell Wilson throws. He is throwing the ball up in the air on a hope and a prayer. Caleb Williams took that pitch on the flea flicker from DeAndre Swift and flat-footed, put it 62 yards in the air on a
Nobody's
on a
ever questioned his arm talent. And the thing is, all 4 of his touchdown passes, the guys were wide open, including the flea flicker. Yeah, no, Ben did a great job calling plays, but also the is it Matt Eberflus effect? I mean, that defense, it happens week in and week out. They're losing receivers left and right.
The funniest thing on Twitter over the weekend was everyone making some variation of the same joke that Matt Eberflus finally developed Caleb Williams because he had to play a Matt Eberflus defense.
Can I ask to the room the I'm going to soft launch what I think is your take.
Ooh. I've got a lot of takes.
Is that side of the table, because everybody knows Danny and I both Caleb.
Well, can you settle
wavered.
this?
What do you mean?
Is he still a? I think I'm more of a Caleb guy now than Nick.
Obviously,
I mean, Nick is
Listen, I know what you want me to say, and I will say it. I have no problem saying that Caleb Williams is and will eventually be regarded by the masses as the best quarterback of his draft class.
So that's what I was going to ask you guys. Do you think that's on the board? Because you didn't think that was on the board before.
Oh, I always thought it was on the board.
Okay.
That he's better than Drake May and Jaden?
Yeah, well, I guess in both.
Broncos fans, I think it's on the board.
McCarthy and Michael Penix.
There's 5 guys. It's on the board.
Yeah, I'm with Wilds in that it's so early because look at C.J. Stroud at this point, and I'm not saying he's lost it, but I'm just saying right now he's dropped. Jaden, just because it's the second year, I mean, I think Jaden will be better, but on the board for sure. On the board, yeah.
Can I
debut somebody? Can I debut a new character too?
Sure.
I have a new character, Rick. Oh. Mr. Pump the Brakes.
I like this.
Mr. Pump the Brakes
and it's directed at those two.
Yeah.
Mr. Don't want me in with him.
Mr. Pump the Brakes is here to say, pump the brakes.
Oh.
It's a bit of a one-trick pony, Mr. Pump the Brakes. He just says pump the brakes. It's against the. I just want to see. Let me see it.
Let's see it next week.
If he had a dud of if a great quarterback has a dud game, we say, you know what? One game.
Right.
Can I say something though?
To Mr. Pump the Brakes?
Yeah. If at the game you were at against a Steelers team that Justin Fields lit up, and that a Steelers team that has been bad defensively in every game they've played. If Drake May had the game that Caleb just had, you would not be Mr. Pump the Brakes on it. We wouldn't be saying guys were running wide open. You would be saying this. You would be thrilled. You would be over the. Am I? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No, it's hard for Mr. Pump the Brakes. He doesn't really do well.
Can I answer Bruce's question?
Not hypotheticals. Yeah, Mr. Pump the Brakes is not in charge of the.
I'm the Caleb guy.
I'm with you. I agree.
I am the Caleb guy. He is not.
Oh no.
What is?
No, please don't do this.
Well,
Hubs.
What is this?
Thank you, Hubs. There's a delivery.
This should not be like.
Now I have to read a letter. What color of flowers are these?
something?
What's up, KW? Oh, you're mad that you're not involved in
Mr.
the
Pump
letter?
the Brakes is going to show up in the production meeting.
Pump the brakes on this segment.
This is too long to read. That is way too long.
Who is it from?
Yeah, read the front
Who's
of the
it from,
envelope.
Nick?
I don't. It says to Nick from your ex, dear Nicholas. At first glance, I thought you abandoned me. It was the worst thing that could ever
Gotta
happen.
read it slowly.
It's too long.
Well, you have to.
I'm not. I don't have your.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't do it.
Right or don't do it.
I realize what a blessing it is. I'm finally free to spread my wings and fly now that I'm not weighed down by our toxic on and off again relationship. I always knew this wasn't going to work. I just needed that banner to push me in the right direction. Hope you find happiness you're looking for. XOXO, you know who. Please tell Danny I say hello. Okay.
It says sup.
Was that a breakup letter?
Here's the problem.
It was a nice breakup.
What color are these?
Blue and orange, I believe.
For the Bears.
Bears colors. It's from Caleb.
Caleb, that was dumping Nick. Is that what?
Yeah, no, listen.
He couldn't break up with Nick because Nick broke up with him.
Lesson here. It's a horrible bit.
Well,
the lesson is you read the letters from me.
Yeah.
That was a lesson.
I think that's correct.
Danny, you get to be the Caleb guy.
Thank you.
You are the junior varsity Caleb guy.
Okay.
That's it.
Oh, judges
And Brou, we kind of just root for Caleb because it's good for the sport, and he was on the show, friend of the show.
He is friend of the show.
Look, I'm pulling for Caleb.
So we're all Caleb guys.
I mean,
Chargers undefeated.
Everyone's a Caleb guy. What a win!
Justin Herbert threw the ball 47 times. I feel like that's an underrated storyline, including this. Might have been pass of the year. 300 yards, added touchdown. They moved to 3-0 with wins over the entire AFC West. Here's Harbaugh.
I don't think I had the vocabulary to really express how great I feel with this win. Gritty, spectacular. That's about the best word I can come up with to describe it. I'm just great thrill of winning.
Mr. Pump the Brakes back.
I mean,
Pump the brakes.
I got some words for Coach.
Okay, Danny, how are you feeling about Herbert, your guy?
I feel like Justin Herbert, through 3 games, is the best player in football this year.
He does look amazing.
He looks unbelievable. And listen, I picked Josh Allen to be the MVP. Josh Allen is incredible. Lamar's incredible. Obviously, reasonable minds can disagree. We're parsing greatness here. But what's that?
This is great. Sneak it in there. Parsing great. You guys never want to parsing great.
No MVPs, no playoff wins.
I love it. It's smart though. Excellent.
Thank you.
Are we parsing great?
I got the sense from you guys that you were getting a little tired of my comparison
Peyton Manning
of
thing?
Justin Herbert to Peyton Manning.
New?
Yeah.
I thought you guys were getting a little tired of it.
You got a new one?
I wanted to compare him to different Hall of Famers in terms of doing more with less. And this is Justin Herbert, 3-0 start, 850 passing yards, while being sacked 10 times.
Sacks are a quarterback stat.
Hold on a second. He had 2 injuries on his offensive line, and he's playing the Broncos, a top 5 defense in football. He was under pressure nearly 50% of the time that he dropped back. He got sacked 5 times. In the playoff game against the Texans, that resulted in 4 interceptions and a loss. This game, he's being pressured basically the same amount of time, and he comes from behind, wins that game. He's on a list with Breeze and Montana. And if you don't like the stat, can we watch the video?
No, this was the play of the year.
The game-tying touchdown where he gets away from Allen, who's 290 pounds, and then around Benito, who's their leading sacker, one of their best players on their team. That is a throw that, let's poll the audience. How many people on planet Earth can make that throw?
No, listen, so that might be the play of the year in the NFL up to this point. Here is first of all, my frustration, or my pushback,
You need some flowers?
What I think is,
blushing.
Right now, after a game where, again, that was a great game-saving throw, in a game that prior to that throw, Herbert was uneven. Even with the throw with the 75 rating, right?
Yep.
By using that game to make he's been the best player in football take, you are acknowledging that you actually value the same things that us Neanderthals who didn't see the talent the way you did were saying all along, which is he needed to actually he has had a dozen games in his career with better numbers than this, but they weren't for a winning team in a big spot in a comeback. And you are agreeing, in my opinion, that you actually need to be contributing to winning in big spots and do that in order to be elevated.
But I didn't say he should be the MVP of the league last year.
No,
I said that he was that level of talent.
No, but it was his numbers this year are the same, by the way, as Daniel Jones's. The reason we're saying he's the best player in football so far this year is because we feel like he is finally contributing to winning, which forever the Herbert defenders have said he doesn't have to in order to be the guy.
No, actually, the Herbert defenders among us in the past were like, he is playing well enough to win, and everyone else was letting him down.
Yeah, so it's I don't know how much he has changed, for good or for bad.
I do think he's changed. I think Harbaugh has helped him out a ton. We saw it last year with the lack of interceptions, but
I feel like he's throwing the ball 47 times.
He's throwing more. That throw's ridiculous.
That throw might be play of the year.
It's unbelievable.
Play of the year? What about
up to this point? Well, that's the tackle that turned the tide.
Oh.
Welcome back. Time for a little stock up, stock down. Greg Jennings and Willie Colon are here. Pretty exciting, shockingly exciting at times. At the beginning of week 3, it looked like it was going to be a dud. Then every team was blocking kicks and returning touchdowns.
Got real fast.
And it was a crazy weekend in the NFL. So let's get into it. Whose stock is up?
Stock up. Jalen Hurts' passing. Go Danny.
I asked for it. I was like, can Jalen Hurts win a shootout throwing the football? And I got to be honest, I was skeptical, and then he did it. And it was one of the most impressive games, I thought, of Jalen Hurts' career. In the second half, he basically did what he did in the first 2 games combined. So in the last 2 quarters, he did what he did in the first 8 quarters, except he added 3 touchdowns to the mix. Who knew throwing to A.J. Brown was a good idea. But sarcasm aside, seriously, that was wildly impressive from Jalen Hurts.
Oh, Danny boy.
Yeah, you called me.
The pipes are called.
Thank you, Willie.
Listen, let's be very clear. Jalen Hurts won with poise over panic. When the room got loud, he was the adult in the room. And I don't care about the stats. That's Danny Parkins. That's DP's, right?
Thank you.
I'm talking about solely how he operated in the pocket. You're talking about gotta have it downs. Cadence, tempo, leaning on A.J. Brown, finding Devontae Smith in the red zone. Like, we saw this man operate like a true number one quarterback. And so for all you haters out there, Jalen Hurts, he's your guy, he's my guy, and now he has to be DP's guy.
It was an impressive game. It was a very impressive game. I'm not taking anything away from him, Greg.
Yeah, this is definitely stock up, and this is what they should lean into when they identify their running game needs help. Just like sometimes the passing game needs help and to be opened up by the running game, so is true with the running game. And Jalen Hurts has proven in times when he's been asked and needed to throw the ball.
Sure.
He's been proven to do it and do it at a high level. So, yeah, stop it.
I just would like to think that if you have Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, you wouldn't wait till you were down 19 to do it. It doesn't seem like a necessary formula, but Jalen Hurts was why. We'll get more into it.
I know. I'm trying.
We'll get more into it.
I'm trying cool. I'm trying to be cool.
I thought it was wildly impressive.
This man been talking a lot of mess for the last 2 weeks.
That's true. Whose stock is down?
Stock down, the seedless Cowboys.
Yeah, reports out of Dallas, CeeDee Lamb's going to miss at least the next 2 games with a high ankle sprain. Not expected to go on IR, though, which means the Cowboys would be without Lamb if the reports are accurate for the Packers game and the Jets game. CeeDee Lamb is the Cowboys offense, and I know so much conversation is about the Cowboys defense, and it's deserved because it's as bad as advertised. But going back to 2020, if your name isn't Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb is the biggest percentage of any team's offense in the entire league.
That's fair.
That's just that. You say I'm the stat guy. That is just the numbers. And I thought Nick put it great earlier. It's like their defense means the only way they can win is if they win shootouts. And without CeeDee Lamb, they can't win shootouts. It was obvious to anyone who's watched the Cowboys the last few years, Greg, that when CeeDee Lamb went down, there was no coming back from
that part right there. If you have eyes and you watch the Dallas Cowboys play and you've watched them, you understand those stats without needing to see those stats. Because the moment he went down was the moment I was like, up there in trouble, because he's such a huge part of why they are able to have success, and you can't in the middle of a game make that type of adjustment and expect players to then fill in those shoes. They might be okay offensively.
I don't know, man. I don't think that Pickens or Tolbert
when I say
can do what he
okay,
does,
I mean I'm not saying it's gonna equate to wins, but they might be okay. But Dak is definitely gonna press a lot more.
But Greg, you're not wrong. See, in my eyes, this is a blessing in disguise because this allows Brian Schottenheimer to get in his bag, lean on the offensive line, get this run game going, start feeding Jake Ferguson, their tight end, who was big in the past. Now he can come into fruition, and they have other pieces around him. For me, this allows Schottenheimer to have ball control offense because why? We know the defense isn't that good. So if you can control the clock, lean on the offensive line, and really get efficient production on first and second down and manufacture some layups for Dak, this Cowboy team can survive until 88 gets back in the offense.
It's a huge ask.
It is a massive ask.
What else you got?
No, out of desperation. And Dak's been great, but CeeDee's been such a huge piece of it. All right, whose stock is up?
Stock up, Danny's guy, Caleb.
Honestly, I petitioned for the segment to just be changed. Caleb Williams, comma, stock down. Because, of course, stock up Caleb Williams. He was synonymous with stock up. 4 touchdowns. How about this? 0 sacks for the first time in his career. Career highs across the board. And yes, of course, it was the Cowboys defense. But if he came in and struggled against the Cowboys defense, we'd be like, well, where was that?
Sure.
You know, he did what was expected of him and then some. He showed off his immense physical gifts. He did it on schedule. He did it within the structure of Ben Johnson's system. That was a sign, hopefully, of things to come.
This was a coming-out party for Caleb Williams. Let's be honest. No sacks. He was able to extend drives. Everybody had a bite at the apple. Ndunze, Luther Burden, Cole Kmet, on and on and on. But if you're a Bears fan, this game was important because there was Bear fans like yourself and people at home. Did we just pick another bad quarterback? It was a legit concern. This game needed to happen for the Bears and this offense. And the fact that we saw production out of multiple people, including him, and we saw Bears fans smile and cheer, I was like, hey, man,
We just heard from the #1 Bears fan, and he ended his statement saying this is a sign, hopefully, for things to come.
Yeah, so I can't guarantee it's going to be that way consistently every week.
Exactly. And what we do realize, I'm going to answer the question first. It's stock up for this week.
Yeah. Got a little bump.
There we go.
They hit their earnings.
A little bump.
Yeah.
But we also saw stock up for Russell Wilson if he was able to have stock up last week against this Cowboy defense. So,
but do you think that was all it was?
I don't know. It looks like it was because of what Russ was able to do and then what he wasn't able to do this week. And then all of a sudden, Caleb has this fantastic game. I don't want to knock it because if you're playing a defense that's bad, you need to do this to that defense, and he did that.
So my only pushback is because it finally looked like him and Ben Johnson were on the same page as far as play calling, synergy, and how the offense moved.
So I agree with that. I agree. I thought they prioritized protecting him with 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, allowing him to ensure that he had time to go through those read and progressions so he didn't panic and get outside the pocket and use his legs like we've seen in the past.
It took a whopping 3 games for them to get on the same page.
Well, rather now than December.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, they're on schedule. Last one.
Stock down the Steelers offense.
All right, so I know the Steelers won the football game. And I know the formula on paper was great defense, above average offense. Well, they got 5 takeaways in that game, and they were able to manage 21 points. And I watched that game, and exactly. Like that game was ugly. Look at that, the drop bar right there. Tied for the fewest points by a team with 5+ takeaways since 2022. The only way they win that game is with 5 takeaways. I just don't know if this is sustainable for Pittsburgh. In fact, I do know, and it's not.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like that was a weird, ugly football game.
Listen, I have no fear who the Steelers are at this point, right? Like they've been known to win ugly. You want me to say horrific things about the black and gold, and it's not happening.
Sure.
Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf was brought to be stabilizers and closers. That's what they do right now. Yeah, is the offense pretty? No. Did we win? Yes. Did our defense finally show up and play the brand of Steeler ball that we're used to seeing? 100%. Say what you want about the offense. They won the game. They closed the game. Defense played big. We're moving on to the next one.
Stock way down.
Oh, okay.
Yes. A couple weeks ago, I said, I might be peeking at this Aaron Rodgers stuff. No. Hey, I'm with you. I cannot. If this is how they're going to continue to play, they're not going to generate 5 turnovers or have 5 turnovers just given to them, which is what took place yesterday every single week. And so, no, you got to be better offensively, and I don't think that.
And they will. I think. Listen, they just have to be more efficient, especially on third down. I think right now the offensive line has to figure out how they're going to run this ball. Arthur Smith is still trying to elevate this offense. The ceiling is way higher than it was last year.
Is it?
Yeah. 100%.
I think
Rosberg, come on, Greg.
I know, Greg. Is it?
Come on.
I think it's a little higher. I will say this: no sacks for like that. Like he sacked what 7 times.
What's the Brady rule? Being better 1% the next day.
No sacks for Aaron Rodgers. That's going to help him survive to the next week, and maybe one more week after that. All right, Greg's Packers. Jordan Love, this is why I can't completely get there with you.
I mean,
now you want us to chill out.
I'm just saying that loss was mortifying for Jordan Love. We will get into it, and I'll hold Greg's feet to the fire like he did Willie Colon next. So much for all that undefeated talk for the Green Bay Packers as they lose their first game of the year to the Browns. Yikes, in Cleveland. Jordan Love threw the bad interception late in the fourth quarter. Then there was a blocked field goal. And the Browns, of course, sealed the win in response. Here's Micah Parsons after the loss.
This is all part of adversity. Undefeated seasons, they're hard in the NFL. Let's be real. And sometimes, just like today, you the bed. That's just the reality of it. It happens to the best teams. You know what I mean? Even the best Super Bowl champs make mistakes, and they pay for it early. You know what I mean? You go back to the history of the champions and who they played and games they should have won. It's just part of being natural. It's that competitive. It's that hard to win.
All right, Greg. How bad is that loss?
Look, I think how they lost is what's concerning. It's any loss can be viewed as a bad loss when you're looking at a team that no one sees as a contender or has a shot to reel off a lot of wins in Cleveland Browns. Defensively, they are a sound team.
Their line is great.
They are excellent, in which then in the back end, they're great as well because they don't have to cover. They have good, solid players back there. Why the Packers lost that game is the number one concern Packers fans have, I have, they have in that building. Jordan Love understands. He can't turn the ball over, especially in those moments. That's the maturation that I'm looking to see, where you understand the pulse of the game. All we have to do is take a sack, throw it away, whatever the case may be, anything but put our defense in harm's way to where we give the advantage to the offense and we almost provide them an easy goal layup. And this is what Jordan has done in past, which is why you question him.
So that's been my thing, man. He is clearly very talented. And he clearly learned a lot from Rodgers. You can see it, where he holds the ball on his hip, the ball fakes, downfield attacking nature, touchdown to checkdown mentality. Like, you can see the talent there. But he makes bad mistakes. And he puts the ball in harm's way. Yeah. And he was under pressure a lot yesterday. And Jordan Love under pressure this season has not been good. And now they have more offensive line injuries, right? Aaron Banks, their guard, got hurt. Zach Tom, their best offensive lineman, there's a weird story there. He had the oblique injury. He was out. Then they thought they kind of rushed him back. He played one snap yesterday, and then they pulled him out of that game again. And I know not every team is going to be able to pressure.
Not in that manner.
Like Cleveland can pressure you, like Denver can pressure you, no question. But then all of a sudden, you get under pressure, you start speeding it up, and you make that interception when he's not under pressure on that throw. And it's like, maybe Jordan Love's just good enough to get you to the point where he ends up losing you the game.
And I didn't question that until yesterday because we saw the run game get stuck in the mud, right? They only had 2.6 on the ground. And you saw the offense shrink. And comparison to me, how I had him as a top 10 quarterback. But when I look at top 10 quarterbacks, they can shoulder that load. They can get you out of that game. He proved that he can't. So now I'm looking at Jordan Love, and I have to reassess if he's that guy, and not solely because when the run game went down, he couldn't stand up. And you're talking about an offense right now who, without a run game, without him playing efficient and on time, they look average.
And it's a weird thing for me because that game against the Cowboys, when they hang 48 on the board, it's like, oh, this guy could win an MVP. But then the game against the Eagles, he throws 3 picks. Yeah. You know, this has been he had a 21 touchdown, 1 interception, 9-game stretch. And then in his next 9 games, he has like 14 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. Like
he's streaky.
He's unbelievably streaky, and that's just a back-breaking interception.
He is. And if this is something that he can identify, digest, and then grow from, which I hope he can, and I'm sure he will, then they will be just fine. That's why I don't have a huge amount of concern. But it was a bad loss because of how that he ended up throwing that interception and putting his defense in that.
Let's go to Philadelphia. The champs had the biggest comeback of the day. They're down 19 points. Jalen Hurts throws for 209 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Let him eat!
In the stunning comeback. 2 blocked kicks. Like, this was a absolutely wild NFL is king type of game. But here's Jalen Hurts after his big second half.
I know we're going to, point the fingers and point our attention to what's going on the offensive side of the ball, but we won the game. We were gritty in the game. We stayed together as a team. We did not quit. Nobody gave up. And in competitive sports, that's what it's about.
So I'm on the couch with my buddies watching this game, and I get a phone call from Willie Colon. And he's just talking trash. He's just talking trash.
Hey, DP, you there, homie?
So go ahead. Gloat on your guy and how impressive that was, and then I will respond.
Well, to me, this wasn't just about Jalen Hurts. This was about a championship outfit, showing that they're a championship outfit. And showing up in a way where I thought, Jalen Hurts has the numbers. That's UDP. I won't talk about this. But the defense really showed up, especially their all-stars. And meaning they're stars all together. Jordan Davis, I got a video. This clip right here shows you what hustle and heart does to you. Look at Jordan Davis right here.
He's a beast, man.
In the A-gap, right? Look at Matthew Stafford sitting pretty. He feels the rush. He got to get out of there. He's rushing for the first down. This is what 360 pounds looks like.
No first down.
Boom. No first down. Hustle and heart from your stars, your impact players, means something. Every ball player has to make a decision. Are you a passenger on the championship ride or you're an impact player? Yesterday proved that Jordan Davis is an impact player on this defense. Well, plays like that, and he had a monster game. We could talk about the blocked field goal, sure. We could talk. He had a big stuff on. I think it was a 3rd and short. He popped up at. But that play right there, that's how you become magnetic as a ball player. When people see you who don't count on you to make those type of plays, and you're doing that, that's how you energize a defense. Big shout out to Jordan Davis.
Yeah, I thought, listen, he's amazing. And if he's the second best player on their defensive line because of Jalen Carter, that's going to be a scary defensive line for years and years to come. Jalen Hurts did it. And he's done it in the playoffs before, no question about it. And I know Eagles fans are like, see, of course he can do it. I don't find it to be unreasonable that if Eagles fans, and there's thousands of them in my comments and mentions and all that, they're like, no, Jalen Hurts, he's a top 5 guy. He's a top 5 guy. You got to be a top 5 guy. And Saquon Barkley, everyone's like, oh, well, yeah, obviously he's the best running back in football. And then like, well, and obviously we have the best offensive line in football. And then they're like, well, and obviously we have the best receiving duo in the NFL. I'm like, well, then it shouldn't be unreasonable for me to expect you sometimes to look like a dominant offense. And this year, they're 27th in passing yards, and they're 10th in rating. And Jalen Hurts just has the 3 touchdowns. Like, they have gotten by. They have not looked dominant yet until that second half. That second half where they're like, you know what? We're down 19. I'm going to throw the ball to A.J. Brown. Sometimes maybe he's covered, but he's really open because he's amazing. That's what good passing offenses do, Greg. And I felt like that second half maybe unlocked something for them of like, oh, yeah, we need to throw the ball a little bit. It's okay.
Yeah, but it starts with Jalen Hurts. Like what he said, the idea of having guys come into that locker room, being down 19-6 or 19-7, excuse me, and understanding we can go, there's 1 or 2 ways you can go. You can run from this, or we can all come together and we can buckle our chin straps and we can go back out there and show the world who we really are. And they decided that because of who he is. Him coming in there, and you talked about this, Jim, his posture at all times is always even kill. But we got to see more of this.
Yes.
Like, we understand they can run the ball.
And I get you. One thing me and you have in common is we both won Super Bowls. And we both know what the year after looks like.
Yes.
Those plays, this type of game didn't happen for me. I don't know if it happened for you because we were still drinking the sauce. We were still riding the magic carpet ride. This team made a decision that people are calling us frauds, and we have a decision to step up or sit down.
Yeah, it didn't happen. I mean, we 15-1.
I can't tell you about my Super Bowl. We just don't have the time. Nope. I obviously have a ton of experience. Just over 2 hours from now, Lions and Ravens in Baltimore. Ravens a 4.5-point favorite. 2 teams with Super Bowl or bust aspirations. Willie, simple question. Who you got?
I'm going with the Birds, man. I think they're just too physical of an offense. They have too many.
AFC North.
Yeah, what do you want me to do? Hey, I think they got too many weapons, and I think they're just too much of a physical team. I see them beating up on the Lions.
Yep, Lions, 38-6.
You're going AFC North.
Yeah. 38-6 2 years ago.
I feel like you want to put something on.
He remembers that. Whatever you want.
Lunch? You want lunch tomorrow?
Lunch.
Bet.
Can I just, whoever wins, do I get like a free lunch?
Absolutely.
Nah, I ain't paying for it.
All right. Well, I got to be right, too. I'll be the tiebreaker here. I'm with Will.
Yay! Get some.
Here's the thing. I think Detroit, their offense is incredible. The Ravens' offense is incredible. I think the Ravens' defense is better than the Lions' defense. So you add that to being at home. I just think the weakest unit of the teams is the Lions' defense.
I'm eating healthy, too.
Again,
you're eating healthy.
You're a Bears fan. You don't want the Lions to win.
I definitely don't want the Lions to win, but listen, I think
you don't believe in the Bears and you don't. You can't get
that's
too far
possible.
behind.
I think this could be a Super Bowl preview, though. High scoring affair.
We don't
have to talk about that.
Exactly.
We don't have a ton of time.
America.
Okay, we don't have a ton of time.
Coach and I.